been to the places which are completely owned by Chinese?
Yes.
Completely. Complexes after complexes. No one can even enter there. We are not allowed, because my husband is in import and export business. So we do a lot of sports and all those related businesses. Some of the businesses are so badly owned by Chinese people, and what they are doing is they are buying complexes. They have huge amount, because they have huge amount of money. Now they start with 2, 3, 4 apartments, then 5 apartments, and then means before you know, right, the whole complex is bought by Chinese. And then there is like security, this, that, and if you are not a Chinese person, you are not allowed to enter. They have created such huge impact, and slowly, steadily they are doing it, because these are in small clusters. We don't get to know. If you go to the warehouse section of Fordsburg, right?
It's owned by them. I mean, you even call it China City.
It's hectic. Some of them are like, it's hectic. And they have created apartments inside the warehouse complexes. If you go in, you'll find there are families living in there. And that section, in case you go there and want to buy, right, one section, they'll say the waiting list is for 2 to 3 years. And whether they are lying or not lying, I don't know what's there. Because even the body corporate, even everything, right, is owned by Chinese. And it's like huge commercial area, one after another. And when you get into the depth of it, you find that it's scary. It's another nation, and they're having a huge hold in the market. And who is allowing it? We as a nation is allowing China to get in, because things are cheaper, because they work on economies of scale. Whatever they are producing, it's so huge that for one product to be, the cost of one product is very, very less, because the term is economies of scale. And whatever they produce, they're producing in such high scale that no one in this world can compete.
Cheap labor.
It's cheap labor as well.
They are known for not
Absolutely.
paying tax.
So, yeah, and
But you see, in South Africa, it's
yes.
not only those areas which are owned by Chinese. You've got areas like Bo Hillbrow and other places where Nigerians have completely taken.
Completely taken. See,
It's a problem.
it's a huge problem, and it's a threat.
Back those places, it's a steep hill.
I don't know, because it's gonna be really hectic.
Look at Sunnyside.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It's called Lagos.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So, yeah, and China is very, very smart in getting their money back. And so this labor and unionism would only work when our government would have some say, right? If, because of debt, they're going to allow Chinese to operate in that sector or operate in that environment, they are just going to hire, right? And we have to do whichever country it is, I'm telling you, it has to be, because government has to be really, really strong in order to say that this is not beyond our labor and legislation. So yeah, and in 2040, Gauteng population would be double.
Yeah, it will be tough.
So that's the research. So and the maximum concentration of.
But look now, Dr. Eddie. Here, remember, we used to know that Chinatown is in Fortsburg. They are running Fortsburg and so on. In the past, Fortsburg was known to be an Indian town.
Is it now? It's only Pakistanis.
No.
Yeah.
No, way in the past.
Is it?
Fortsburg was associated with Indians. That's why you will still get a high concentration of Indians in Oriental Plaza.
Yes, that's the myth. That's the myth. Because now when we go,
But now, no, it changed.
is it?
No,
Yeah,
it
with
changed.
time.
With China,
Before
it
it
changed.
used to be.
Before it
Oh.
used to be. It was we knew Fortsburg,
Yeah.
that area was concentrated,
Yes.
was Indians. But now it's changing altogether. And not so long ago, was it 2 years ago or a year ago, that they've opened Chinatown in Midrand,
Yes.
next to Boulders Shopping Center. There's a Chinatown there.
Roma Lake.
Exactly, there's a Chinatown there. I mean, you go to Kensington, it's also a high concentration of Chinese staying there. So you are right, they do it in pockets. they
And
need
slowly,
to-
steadily, it's going to
slowly,
expand.
steadily they are coming in, and so. No, in the past, go and do your research.
Is it? Yeah.
Oriental Plaza
Was it-
was primarily, it was Indians.
Now, because when I came, people say it said go to Oriental Plaza and there, because we look similar, right?
Yeah.
When we went there, it's 100% Pakistanis.
Yeah.
There's not even a single Indian in there. Maybe it used to be at some point of time.
This is something of that started recently.
Is it? But now it's like all over it's Pakistanis. Maybe you still consider them as Indians because they look Indians. I don't know, but it's
Now let
Yeah.
me tell you, in future, what's going to happen. You see this thing called xenophobia in South Africa. It's gonna hit us very hard, and not just.
It is going to. It is going to. Because South Africans definitely are going to retaliate, right? Because so many markets are absolutely captured by different races. And it's scary. All right, okay, fine. So let's go ahead with chapter 5. We will complete chapter 5 and chapter 6, right? After that, TK is going to come and he's going to help you with portal. All right. I forgot about this thing today. It's fine, I'll keep on holding. It's okay. Okay, so before I start, there is quite a lot of theory in these two chapters, and that is why it is important for you to understand. All right. So there is a concept which is called as job analysis. And there could be a question on job analysis. In fact, I think in your assignment also there is a question, all right, on job analysis. Now, job analysis can be, and it's again important as I said, right? Job analysis is the process of doing job. Job analysis is the process of doing job design. Okay? Now, job design is about 3 components. Job description, job specification, and job evaluation. All right. So as I said, there could be a question on do a job analysis. If you are consider yourself as the HR head of such and such organization, how would you do job analysis of a designation? All right. So job analysis, actually what they're asking you is to analyze the process of doing job design. So when I say job design, the first thing is job description. What do you mean by job description? What is job description? According to you, you can guess. Right. So job description is job roles and responsibilities. That means what you are expected to do is there in job description, right? So let's mention roles and responsibilities. For example, roles and responsibility. For example, let's take a very simple example of a sales manager. So what a sales manager does? What he does? He brings sales, closes the deal, meets customers, right? He travels, he needs to travel, right? He needs to report, bring sales report to the sales director. So those are his job description. What do you mean by job specification? Then, so analyzing the job roles and responsibilities in detail is the process of job description. Then next is job specification. What is job specification? What do you think? What is job specification? Hello. Hi. Hi.
Job grading?
Okay. What else? Job grading is job evaluation. So job specification means the physical, mental, and cognitive skills required to perform the job description, right? So physical, mental, and cognitive skills required to perform the job. Hello, hello. So when I say cognitive, actually I'm referring to thinking, reasoning, and analyzing skills. thinking, reasoning, and analyzing skills to perform the job. And job specification also involves age and qualification. Right? Age, qualification, and experience. So physical, mental, cognitive skills required to perform the job, along with age, qualification, and experience. All right? And cognitive skills to perform the job along with age, qualification, and experience. So for example, we took an example of sales manager. So you must have seen in the advertisements, it's generally mentioned that he needs to know English, he needs to travel, he must be willing to relocate, he must have 5 years of experience, he must be holding a degree, right? Strong enough to travel and all those things, right? So physical skills are generally required either in tough conditions like in mining sector or when it's related to aviation sector, right? Or something that is related to security as well. All right. Then job evaluation is, so job evaluation was not the term before 2 decades, right, in South Africa. Research says generally the job used to be depending on job content, on job description. So job evaluation means the worth of that job, salary, that should be attached to that job or the band attached to that job according to what the market says. Job evaluation means what the market says, right? So before 2 decades, it was job content. I mean, in case the job content is tough, it's difficult, it's like hectic, right? And it's like a lot of technical aspects associated, the availability of skills. Then the job used to be set up at very high level. The salary offered was at high level. But now it depends on, and it's generally done by the market research companies, not by the company. They give it to the companies and they analyze the market, that what is available and what is the market sense, right? Out of that market sense, each band is created. So I was facilitating in SANSA, South African National Space Agency, right? It's I think it's 7 years old company, very new, right? But sharp people, scientists and space research scientists. So one of the space research scientists asked that, Dr. Abby, there is no 10, so the private sector rule is that they have to go for 10 other companies, right? And in the same field. For example, it is fast-moving consumer goods. What is fast-moving consumer goods? What do you mean by fast-moving consumer goods? If I say it's FMCG sector, what I'm referring to? Okay, so for FMCG sector means fast-moving consumer goods. All those things that you repurchase within a month is fast-moving consumer good. For example, your detergent, for example, your toothpaste, your shampoo, your conditioner, all those things are, so when you go to the mall and buy whatever things, right, is FMCG, right? So there's Procter & Gamble, that there's Unilever, right? So there are big companies. So if a sales manager, pharmaceutical company, right, wants to get his salary band, then that salary band cannot be studied by going to various FMCG companies or retail companies. They have to go to 10 pharmaceutical companies to understand the salary. Okay, so they said, are you getting my point? For example, it's sales manager hotel industry. The salary slab will not be equal to sales manager FMCG or retail or hospital industry. So each salary slab is according to the industry. So they have to go to 10 other companies to decide what will be the salary. Okay. Now, SANSA is, I don't think it's a parastatal. It's a parastatal, I'm not sure. So they said that that there is no other SANSA in South Africa. It's only one company. So how the salary band of SANSA space research scientist would be decided, which was a very good question, right? Because there is no other field. Where is the market? For market, there has to be other operators. There is no other operator in South Africa and in most of the nations, right? So the rule is that if there is no such similar kind of department or similar kind of company, then they have to go to 10 other countries with the same economic status and see the same job, right? Space research scientist of 10 other countries like South Africa. They'll research there, come back to South Africa and decide this will be the salary slab. So it's not easy, right? It's very complicated. It cannot be just on the whims and fancies of the board of directors or whims and fancies of government, right? It has to have a parameter or set of parameters on the basis of which the salaries are decided. This is called as job evaluation. All right. Very highly skilled. Yeah, and most of the salaries in public sector, I think it is P something. I'm just losing the name. It's a software, right? That the salary slips get generated in public sector of South Africa. I'll give you the name later, right? I'm just slipping it. So there are two softwares, two ERPs, Enterprise Resource Package, that decides. So it's so systematic now. It's almost robotic, right? That you don't need human intervention. They just study it like this, and they'll decide the salary slab. So in there also a lot of jobs are going to be cut, it is said, right? So when your slip gets generated, payroll slip gets generated, it's done by Enterprise Resource Package. And there are two that are used by public sector of South Africa. All right. So yes, yeah, Gilbert.
In the mining sector,
Yes,
my sense is that there's a lot of exploitation happening.
it is.
How are the unions using this kind of an approach to leverage their negotiations with their employers?
And this is such a valid question, Gilbert. And if time permits, I'll show you what Nick Holland of Goldfield is saying, right? Different companies are giving, I don't know, crap information of not giving the right compensation to the workers in mining sector of South Africa. And where is job evaluation? And I'm going to discuss all this. Where is job evaluation in many sectors? It's not only mining sector, right? In South Africa is going ahead. Is it just for the shallow purposes? Is it just for some of the companies that are abiding? In many companies, this is not being used. But this is the ideal situation. And that is why, as I said, it's very recent, right? It's in 1999 that South Africa started with job evaluation. Before that, it was completely on job content. So if you are the owner of the company, you will decide. Like Regenesis, right? If it is not listed in JSE, then you have the complete discretion to decide on the salary that you are going to offer to a person. But if it is JSE, then there are strong NSE. I'm sorry. So in case the company is listed, then they are under a strong regulation. But so this is only for white collar employees, right? This job evaluation, job description specification is only applicable. In many nations, it's also applicable for blue-collared employees, right? But here, it is only applicable until white. So white-collared, you know? The difference between white-collared and blue-collared is, so you must have seen workers wearing blue outfit. So they earn wages, and we earn salaries. Right? So the people that are earning salaries are white-collared employees, right? So people that are, people that are managerial, at a managerial designation, they are white-collared. Anyone that is lesser than managerial, they are are wage earners. So that job evaluation is not for them, which is extremely unfair. Extremely unfair. So and that is why labor union is so strong, right? And that is why, and in case you see Marikana strike, 12,500, right? Goldfield strike, 12,500 basic rate of salary that they said. And Nick Holland said that they are already giving 10% on a yearly basis, right? And they said they must just work, otherwise we'll call another set of people, right, that are going to work for the strike. And 10% seem to be too high. But what if the base salary is 2,000? Then 10% is what? 2,200. Right? They're saying, do you know we are paying much more than the inflation rate, which is 10%. So yeah, it's all dodging information. But yeah, Gilbert, very right question. This is the ideal scenario of how it should be, right? Strategic human resource management should be, but in many cases it's not being done, right? Okay. So if you can see, right, in case there is a, going back to your assessment practice, and in your digital assessment, there would be questions like, thinking, reasoning, and analyzing skills, right, are required to measure, right, job analysis, description, evaluation, right, or design. So what will be the answer? Answer will be job specification. So that is why it must be clear, right? Okay. Is that clear? Right. So the applicants that are applying for a job, what are they called? Applicants that are applying for a job, what are they called? Candidates. Okay. So at MPM level, you will call them job incumbents. Job. So people, so if you are applying for a new job, then you are a job incumbent. All right. So job, so what is job analysis? Is the process of designing a job where job incumbents can be measured against job description, job specification, and what salary should be offered to them is called as job evaluation. Clear? Clear, or it's all clear? Because this is an important component of your module. Please get cleared before we go ahead.
These terms,
Yeah.
we use them, but I guess sometimes we use them interchangeably. We're talking about this, but when you have to actually be specific what it means,
Yes.
then
It gets overlapped.
yes, yeah.
Like recruitment and selection gets overlapped. Induction and orientation gets overlapped. Okay. So I hope it is clear. This is the biggest one. This is a process, because there will be 5-6 questions, I guess. This is the process, right, of designing this, which is, again, the sub-components of this is 1, 2, and 3, right? So anything that is related to salary, band, etc., will be job evaluation. Anything which is related to the qualifications and skills of people would be specification. Anything which is related to the job that he or she has to perform would be related to description. And people that are applying for job are called as job incumbents. And that is why we ask multiple choice questions. We try to confuse you because it gets overlapped. All right? Okay. All right. Now I'm sure you will be all right. Okay? You need to have 100% in your digital assessment. Okay. So this is it. Let's go ahead. And like yesterday we were discussing that SHRM is not without challenges, right? And you know most of the challenges. So, and in today's scenario, there is a lot of challenges in public sector as well. And that is why I can see a lot of promotion being done by public sector, and they have hired Deloitte, right, or Deloitte, right? Deloitte to do campaigning. Okay, what is the difference between advertisement and campaigning? What is the difference? Is there any difference? Yeah, if I'm asking this question, maybe there is a difference, right? So, what is the difference between campaign and advertisement? There's a way, okay? Yes. Yeah.
Do it like once off, and campaigning it's continuous.
It's continuous.
For a certain period of time.
All right. Okay. Anything else? So your names, please put in right order. Philly. Yes.
You have to advertise on the newspapers, internet.
Okay.
But when you do the campaign,
Yes.
you don't necessarily go that route.
Okay. So some of them are saying that advertisement is once off and campaigning is over and over again. And you use various medias for sources of media for advertisement. Campaigning is one media. Am I correct, Gab? Okay. According to Gab.
Campaigning is on platforms.
Different platforms. Okay. All right. One discussion, please, in the class. Yes, Elizabeth?
What spectrum of advertising? It includes advertising.
It includes advertising. All right, okay. All right, so there's one difference between advertisement and campaigning. Campaigning, you don't charge for anything. So for example, Cyril Ramaphosa is going to go to various places and say, vote for ANC. He's not going to charge anybody. Right, but when other celebrities are endorsing the product, they are charging, right? So, and when advertisements are there, right, they are charging the soaps, right? So, in between soaps, you can find advertisements. So, so they are paying for the advertisement. So, advertisement is always against payment. It's never for free, and anything that is done for free is campaigning. Right? So when we teach marketing, we differentiate between advertisement and campaigning. Campaigning is always for free. The person that is campaigning for something, he's campaigning because he is doing it for free. And when he's charging, then he's advertising. Right? So we don't use the term advertise in case it's for free. All right, okay. And various methods and media, it can be at various, like for example, Army South Africa, Army India, right, Army UK. So if they say, please join Army, right, in TV or in radio, they're actually campaigning. They're not charging anything, right, for that advertisement to join Army, right? That is campaigning. And in case there's another advertisement of Careers 24, they're saying, put your CV on Careers 24, they are charging, right, that soap or that cereal or that whatever, right, to use that Careers 24 advertisement. So that is what the difference is. All right. Okay. Okay, yeah. So going back to, so why I was there, all right, it's fine. So now going back to recruitment and selection, training and development here, it is said that, and going back to Deolite, they, public sector is in touch with many companies nowadays, right? Private companies, to let people know what public service South Africa is doing, right? And what are the challenges that they are facing. And in case you are in touch with various companies, they show you what they are advertising and campaigning. So I'm going to show you that what are the, in case, yeah. What are the advertisements and how are the advertisements look like, right? Just to see and just to feel that in order to have right amount of labor, right, in order to have right candidates, and in order to have right selection of people, a lot of efforts have been done, right? For example, if you know the two robots that are being manufactured by South African students, right? The name is Bongani and Mbali. Do you know Bongani and Mbali? You have seen them, those two robots. Yeah. So, so Gab is fortunate enough, and there was a lot of campaigning being done just to show, right, to the other, like Gilbert was saying, that why there cannot be any export, right, of the knowledge that we have. So we have knowledge, we have what do you say, technical skills. It's just that we don't have availability of those universities that can offer such schools, right? So, so this is just a drive that was being again done by public sector, so that people may know that there are intelligent kids in South Africa. Those skills, in case, can get cultivated and encouraged, right? We won't be having problems, right? We won't be hiring people from outside. There would not be an inflow of expats in the nation in case this is being encouraged, right? So I'm going to show you that, all right. And then there would be right recruitment as well. Can you see this? Can't. How do you share the screen? Do you know how to? I think I must go like. I think I must go like this. How do you share? If I go like this. Is it going now? Hmm? How do you drag? Okay. Not there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yes. Right. Yeah. More. Drag more. Where is the screen now? How do you drag it? Here. This one. Hmm? You closed it. Oh no.
No, he didn't. And all of us know he didn't. He was a part. And now he's ATM that Olumisa was breaking this morning that 100 ATM members came over to his party.
Really?
Okay. All right. Sorry. Finally. Singani is here. I was waiting for Singani only, right? To do this activity. Now, what is the problem? Okay. So now, what's the problem? Right? It is the problem is that the kids, right, the millennials, the Z generation, they have their own mindset of working in an environment, and we offer them something different. Right? And when I was facilitating MBA Strategic Human Resource Management, many companies said that there are a lot of graduate development programs that they are offering, like Mercedes is offering, Massmart is offering, many companies are offering. Right? But in very few companies, all of them graduate. There is huge amount of dropout rate as well, right? Not in Mercedes and Massmart, but there are many other companies that are trying to offer, right, graduate development programs and a little amount of money that they can offer. But the dropout rate is very, very high. Okay. Why do you think so? Why there is dropout rate? So they are offering HCBM, BBA, PDBM, various courses, right? But they say they don't have money to travel, right, for transport. They don't have money for food. They don't have, right, that much of access. They don't have capacity to come to classes every day. And they have a lot of reasons behind. So when companies are trying to help them, right, in order to give them free food, sometimes transport allowance as well, then too there are dropout rates. Why do you think there is such huge amount of dropout, right, rate in South Africa, especially in Z generation students? What do you think? What could be the reasons? Sorry? In the graduate development programs in various, yeah. Why do you think so? And there are endeavors, there are efforts which are done as CSI, corporate social investment or corporate social responsibility, right, by various companies to try to generate employment, to try to give them education, right? But there is a problem.
I don't know if it's generally a problem across the parameters when the interns graduate.
Yes.
They tend to forget that they are graduates,
Yes.
they're here to learn, so they tend to compare themselves
With seniors.
with seniors, with permanent employees, in terms of, the standard of wearing, the lifestyle that we are living, and, forgetting that they are only graduates, they are there for a certain period, they are not yet,
Yeah, confirmed. Yeah.
exact. So that's another pressure that they tend to put themselves into.
All right. Okay, Singani. Okay. That's it.
I concur. I concur. But it's also two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
The other side of the coin is that how empowered are we to mentor? Because an official who is equipped will have the ability or possess the ability to transform the mindset of he who is coming over for exposure, for knowledge acquisition, and for development. The cases you bring to life on the dropout, that's why I said that in Kenya. At tourism, we have similar challenge. There's an outreach program which the department is creating as part of the Extended Public Works program. But that of bringing young men and women with knowledge on tourism and those who are great 10 leaders to try to empower them, to try to build them, to try to create some sense of impact within societies. The reaction is somewhat similar to what you said.
It's huge dropout rate.
Lack of commitment, lack of patience, and the other thing, it's the the mindset based on quick success without a sustainable growth and development.
Living in the world of instant gratification, right? Instant, it has to be like this.
But entering also,
Because it's-
companies need to attend to it so that it becomes a balanced approach.
All right. Okay. So, yeah.
Serious problem,
Hmm.
particularly when it comes to boy child.
Boy child. Okay.
It's quite worrying.
Hmm.
Now, for me, if I compare my generation then,
Hmm.
even when I was at school,
Hmm.
starting from primary to high school,
Hmm.
we were so competitive
Hmm.
as boys,
Hmm.
fighting. I'm telling you,
Hmm.
during that time, position 1 to 10, it was occupied by boys.
Hmm.
We didn't want anything to do.
What? Okay, but this is an issue of gender. Okay,
But from
all right.
primary to high school, now I'm
Yes.
just trying to give a scenario.
Okay,
Maybe it's not just
yeah,
carte blanche,
okay.
but
Hmm.
you look at currently what is happening.
Hmm.
Girls have actually taken over.
Yes,
They are
yeah.
so focused.
Hmm.
They are doing so well
Hmm.
as compared to boys.
That's true.
Boys are so demotivated, they're so derailed.
Hmm.
It's quite worrying.
So, what are the reasons behind? What are the reasons? Because when I was studying this, right, it's not here, it's across the world, right, that girls are overpowering in terms of performance, academic performance, right? So this year, if you take this year's data, matriculate data 2017, 2016, 2015, and you see that there is always girls are over performing in comparison to boys, right? However, and even in the dropout rate, it's always boys more than the girls that are dropping out. So what we were reading and discussing in academics and researching, we could find that there is few companies in this world that are existing or operating since last 150 years. 150. Right? You can count them in fingers, right? Nestle, 1, 2, 3, not more than that. Why? Most of the companies perish, right? After 50 years of service, 55 years of service, right? They are perishing. Why? Right? Because what we are doing is, as I was discussing job description here, right? We want brainos, right? Think tankers, right? Brain, no box thinking, out of box thinking, blah, blah, sharp kids, right? That can manufacture Mbali and Bongani. Morning, morning. Okay, all right. One moment. Did you want to see him?
No, you, actually. Yeah. I don't know how to move, so I'm not supposed
our kids as parents. Just today in the morning, I was watching a disturbing video somewhere in Pumalanga.
Yes.
One student went about,
Killed, yeah.
took some stones, throwing them in a classroom. The police are coming. He's not even respecting the police. He's throwing stones at them until they shot him. So what type of a society is that? Are we motivating these young boys and girls to go to school? Are we motivating them to think otherwise? I think that is where we're having a problem. We're from ourselves as blacks. We've got this saying of Ubuntu. Your child is my child. This nowadays is no more there. even when you talk to a child, you find a child doing something wrong. You can't call that particular child to order because the answer you're going to get is
Yeah, it's my child. Don't
something
worry.
else.
Yeah, don't bother.
If you say that and that child goes to the father and says,
Then it will be, yeah.
this person said this,
Yeah.
the father can fight you for that. So that's the situation we're having. And even the role models. Somebody who went to school, this nowadays can't be the proper role model. Thugs outside there, because they are driving fancy vehicles and they've got money, they become role models. So if you sit in a class like this and you want to achieve something academically and people are busy making money outside quickly, so you think that is the best
That
way
is
to
the
go?
easier way, yeah.
I think that is the reason why we're having these type of problems. We are no more motivating our people, even at home. Myself as a parent, it's like, oh, I give birth to them, they will see what to do. I think that is why we're having a problem.
All right, that could be one of the causes. And how many of you agree? Because that is his mindset. Others, do you agree? Because I know less, right? And yes, you do, right? Because those two videos are also viral, right, on LinkedIn and social media, that in KwaZulu-Natal, a girl was beating another girl, and then she kicked on her chest. And in 30 seconds, the girl collapsed. So yesterday it was that the girl died in 30 seconds. Yeah, it's really troublesome, right, to watch that video. However, now they're saying that she fainted and she survived. But the problem is not that whether she fainted or she died. The problem is, why did that happen, right, in a school setup? And all those kids are wearing uniform. Right, so so that is one of the causes, right? And I also blame the education system, especially the educators, that if this is the traditional pattern of teaching kids, right, or teaching students, is not working, we need to come up with new ways, because their thinking pattern is not what educators' thinking pattern used to be. And we have to adjust ourselves according to what they think is easier. Right? So we have to come up with new things. We can't be just imposing them with what we have learned. So it takes two to tango, and we have to also blame ourselves, right? That what we are doing as parents, and as you have said, right? Are we only conscious of what we are earning or what we can give in terms of their food and leisure, or their conditioning or their development is also an important concern. I'm going to come to you. It's also about that video, and I'm not sure about, I could not, because there are so many news on a daily basis that you lose the track. I'm coming to you. Hey? I wanted to ask, what is the story behind the video wherein EFF people are throwing the litter out, and that a white boy is trying to pick them up and put it back in the dustbin. Again, EFF leaders, the people are again throwing it wherever possible. Again, that boy is picking up the litter and putting it back in the dustbin. It kept on happening over and over again. And I don't understand. I could not understand the context because I had to go through a lot of other information. But now means EFF. Leaders are also, right, not appreciating this fact, right, that how come throwing litter, right, is justifiable, right? Why that action was supported by many, and I'm not getting that context at all. Maybe I'm oblivious, maybe I'm ignorant, maybe I could not read it properly.
There are also similar cases in
Yes.
schools.
Okay.
You would find a child confronting a teacher or a principal,
Yes.
but you still see parents of that child defending that child. And you ask, how on earth are we building our kids for a better tomorrow? How on earth how are we building our kids to better have an appropriate interface with people who don't really agree with them? That's where we're lacking. And this incident seems not to be in isolation. They okay here and there, and they continue to come to the fore, which is very problematic. It takes us back to what my fellow students has said.
I've said.
There's seriously something wrong on how we're going about managing our household, because the household are a society fabric. Once they collapse,
Yes,
Society would
it's
not be intact. Values would be lost and many other associated principles.
absolutely true. Sorry, sir, I kept you waiting.
Okay, thank you. At least at long last.
Finally, right?
Actually, I think the inputs that have already been had, they actually hold water. But then I just want to add another element to say we're coming from a very violent past. It was normal for us to fight back. And I think that fighting back has not actually been addressed in a normal way. Our society is still in that mentality that we need to fight back for everything. Actually, power, the mind is much more important than the brain. We believe that for us to survive, we need to fight back. And that is the reason why you find even girls have become violent. They believe that the only way they can survive and they can show power is to actually fight. So we needed to actually have dealt with the issue of the trauma that went through pre-94. But we have not
One
really-
discussion, please. Yeah.
we have not really done that, and that is the situation. But again, I also believe that the education system itself is also letting us down, because if you look at the interns that we're talking about, when we get to high school, we're actually thrust into different subjects, and there is too much pressure to say you need to be this person or you will not be able to make it. So you will find that there are learners that are pushed to doing maths and science, but that is not exactly what they want to do. But that is the pressure from the community to say, for you to be recognized, for you to
You
be
need to do,
considered be
yeah.
this person, you need to do 1, 2, 3. So now when these kids have to go to go to work as interns, look, they don't have interest. Remember, for me to be here to enjoy what is happening here, I must have interest in what is happening.
True.
It doesn't matter how good I may be. It doesn't matter how brilliant I may be. But if I'm not interested in what is happening in the classroom, I'm not going to enjoy, and obviously I'll be disruptive. So if you look at the alignment between what happens at high school and what is happening at the workplace, there's a very big gap. And again, the social media again, I'm not sure whether we're able to deal with the issue of, the transition. The public, in some way, has moved very far in terms of the 4th Industrial Revolution. But then, if you look at the workplace, has remained, somehow constant. We're still doing things, the same way that we used to do before.
That's so true.
I still have this book here. This notebook. I'm still writing on
That's
this
so
notebook.
true. Yeah.
While I have
Yeah.
the notebook,
Yes.
while I can actually enter
Right.
everything, while
True.
I can actually record everything. So we are actually in some way the public moving far ahead of what is supposed to be. So the workplace is not moving with what is happening outside. And
Right.
that is the reason why sometimes when these kids, they get
Yes.
to the workplace,
Right.
they get irritable. Because now they are told that they have
Yeah.
to pick up those papers, they need
Yeah.
to do this and that, but that is not how they are doing
Yes.
things, when they are outside.
When they-
and that is, it's not motivating them. They are actually meant to be away from what can make them, interested. In what they are
Yes.
supposed to do.
Absolutely true.
If they can be given that opportunity to say, this is where we are, we need to move towards the 4th Industrial Revolution, then they will become interested, and actually they may actually come up with some, things that can actually revolutionize the workplace. But unfortunately, and
Yeah.
remember, the people who are in charge in these companies, in these government departments, is myself. I was born before technology, and I'm saying, this is how I know things. This is how things are supposed to be done. So we are in some way stuck in the past, but then these kids are saying, what is wrong with these people? They are blocking our way. We're supposed to be doing things in this manner and so on. So I think that is the one challenge that we have, which we need to deal with. And the sooner we deal with, actually, the lesser, some of the challenges that we're experiencing.
So you went one step ahead. What I was supposed to say, he did it. Let's swap roles. I sit there, you come here and facilitate. But well done. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for such a detailed discussion. And this is what I also wanted to have this, right? A conversation when I wrote brain in there. All right, so you want to add? Okay.
No, I just wanted to say,
Yes.
up until we come to a point
Yes.
to acknowledge
Yes.
and take accountability as parents that we are not playing our role. It's very nice to shift the blame and to say teachers and society.
True.
What are you doing as
True.
a parent?
True.
You don't send your child to school to be disciplined.
True.
The part of discipline starts at home.
From home.
And I'm telling you, there are people that I work with, there are people that are reporting to me, and I don't know their homes, I don't
Yes.
know their parents.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, this human being comes from a very disciplined home, and that one
Yes.
comes from a home where values was,
Yes, negligible.
So you see, it comes
Yeah.
right through. at the
Exactly.
workplace and so. And up until we
Yes.
start taking up our roles as parents, it will continue to be like this. You go to different homes, kids are telling parents what to do and not the other way around. And us chasing careers right now, other people are raising our kids, and we don't have an opportunity to raise our kids. For other kids, they are being taken to school by Uber. The parent is somewhere traveling in the world, climbing the corporate ladder,
Truth.
and they think throwing money
Yeah.
at their kids solve the problems. What has happened in the past? We never had phones. We never took phones to school. We never had phones. But these kids, any small thing happens, they are so ready to take videos and they go viral. What happened there? So up until we come back to the home front,
That's
we
so
will
true.
not solve anything, and we will keep on passing the buck and saying the government, the education system, what are you doing as a parent?
Absolutely true. Absolutely. All right. It's long we are conversating, right? So we must stand. All of you, please. We will answer ourselves. All right. Wide awake, right? Okay. So, can we, right? Can we make two lines? Two, right? Hold your hands and stand here. Two lines. This should be in front of the camera as well. Is good? Towards each other. Oh, yes. All right, okay. So equal number of people in each line, please. Okay. Okay. Let me use my watch. So you need to do hula hoop dancing, okay? Okay, kids, regard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cindy, can you please play with us? Thank you. Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is, you're going to hold hands, right? And now, I'm going to pass this hula hoop to you, right? And then this has to go to her. But what you are not allowed to do is touch it. No, you have to touch it. It's to loose hands, right? So your hand should be folded. And you are not allowed to move your hands up like this. Right? But this this hula hoop must move from here to here to here. Right?
How?
Okay. This hula hoop has to pass from your body to the other person's body to that. How? You need to strategize. How? Okay, think about it.
Stop using your hands.
Yes.
Your
Whether you dance, whether you twist, whether you do tango, I don't know, whether you do salsa, cha-cha, whatever you want, you can do. But you are not allowed to lose hands, and you are not allowed to move your hands up so that it goes down, right? Okay, let's start. Okay, you look really worried. No, but we'll see. We'll start from St. Peter, all right? And then, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use my, ladies, stop gossiping. All right, okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use my stopwatch. Let's see which team, right, completes this task faster. All right? Should we do it? Ready?
Fast.
All right, their time starts now. Okay. Sit back here. Sit.
You can go down. Yes.
You can go down to your man.
Like this. Come on.
Go down.
You must go down to your man.
No.
Go down.
See, he's wrong.
Why you must go down?
Now he has to go back.
Why?
No. Why? Because never went through his whole body.
It must go down.
Go through the whole body.
You were not told.
I told you to be small.
She did not tell us.
You must go through your whole body. Go through. Take
Your legs out. When I fuck a manya.
Yes. Sit. Yes. No hand. Now you do it. Do it. No.
Keep a manya. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Keep a manya.
Yes. Like this.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, now we have the strategy.
Now it's going to be
No.
Keep a manya.
Your paw legs out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Because 2 minutes, 21 seconds.
2 minutes, 21 seconds. Right? All right. So it's
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Gilbert is short.
Don't do it right.
Okay.
No, they're supposed to be out when they
All right. Okay, the time starts now.
Sing the
Okay.
X generation. Okay. Gilbert.
But
I'm trying to
semi-copy.
That's what I'm saying. They're supposed to be out.
Hand.
Yeah, Gilbert balance, Bella.
Use your legs. Yes. Put it
Are they allowed to use legs?
Sit salsa, cha-cha, humanize it.
Yeah.
Use the other one.
Yes.
All right.
My dress.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Try I told you we. No, hands up. Hands down. Okay. Yes. Very smart.
No, we're going to minus the minute.
Okay.
Why is the hand down?
The hand is down. Hand is down. Sit down or up? Done. 1 minute.
We made it better.
Doc, you need to minus 30 seconds from us. Add 30 seconds. Yes.
They were supposed to be out when we were doing it.
Okay, so this is, I think, for the 100th time I played. It has never gone failed. It's always the second team that has won. Always, right? So first of all, well done to both the teams. Why this game? What is the essence?
Teamwork.
Okay. What else?
But the other thing is just
We're
like
discussing something else, right? I'm not going to play something that we're not discussing, isn't it? Oh. Yes.
just like the potato and that straw.
Right.
What is possible?
All right. It's okay. So initially you thought that you're not going to do it, then you could do it. All right. All right. What else?
There is the will to succeed.
Okay, that's very good. So Spive said that because the other team could see what's the strategy, so that is why, see, now even he is personalizing it. Okay, so that is why the second team could win, right? Okay, so that is absolutely true, right? So when you witness something, you get experience, right? So okay, so could strategize. Second team could use strategy. All right, what else? Anything else?
Also the will to succeed.
What?
We wanted to succeed.
You wanted to succeed.
The will.
The will to succeed. All right. Okay. Okay. That's way. I hope you have renewed your medical insurance, right? All right. Hello. Yes. It's understanding your strengths. Okay. Understanding your strengths. All right. What else? What? So you were in second team, right? What have you innovated, by the way? Yes. Okay. And how were you different? Were you different? You followed the trend. Okay. Hello, hello. Credit to Gilbert. You guys, because
I thought you said him. No, me, of course.
Let the system in place, you know.
all right, okay. So, how do you pronounce the name? Mazingita. Okay. Whatever he said, right? Masingi. Yeah, Masingi. Whatever he said, it's Masingi. Masingi. Masingi, yes. He is fine, right? Yes. All right. whatever he said, right, we played exactly the same thing, right? If you consider, right, the hula hoop as job description, right, as job description. Now what we are doing, we are asking these brains, right, sharp, intelligent kids, these boys, it's not that they're not intelligent, right? It's just that they are differently conditioned than how we were conditioned, right? So we are giving them defined roles, what Singhani said, defined roles to perform. We are teaching them out of the box thinking. We are teaching them think differently. We are teaching them to be innovative, right? We are teaching them to perform in a different way. But when they join the organization, you are asking them to do this, right? So what about those teachings that we are teaching in here? When you go to organization, everything gets shattered, right? Similarly, I have asked you to use the hula hoop, right, from there to there. Okay, but with conditions. You cannot use this, right? You cannot lose your hands. The hula hoop has to go through your whole body. And that is what is happening to employees. If I would have asked you, and that is why you took 2 minutes 20 seconds, they took 1 minute 30 seconds. If I would have asked you just go through this hula hoop, like you were doing initially, right? Just from neck to neck. And it would have taken 20 seconds, right? And that's what the problem is. When they are coming in, you are giving them a hula hoop. You can do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nothing beyond this. It has to be done in the same pattern like your forefathers have been doing, right? And it's not only in public sector, it's also in private sector. Everywhere, this is the scenario. And now we expect them not to drop out, not to do this, behave in the way that our fathers and grandfathers were doing. However, right, their conditioning, right, their lifestyle is, we can see, is very, very different to what our lifestyle was, right? So it's not, and that is why I always say, it's not that they are smarter than us, but, right, they are faster than us because they have witnessed us performing in a particular way, right? And that is why second team is always faster, right? Always, it's always is been the case, because in the meantime, when you were struggling, right, to do what to do and how to do, our kids are also witnessing, right, in a very observant way that what we are struggling at and what we are not. They don't want to struggle. They don't want to go to the same path. So why are we blaming them, right? Why are you? Now you are exactly doing the same thing what we are doing on a daily basis. You are blaming the second team. You gave you gave the opportunity. And this is what is human. We are human beings, right? And this is the general daily, right, behavior that we are showing to the second team. They are silently observing you, doing nothing, right? They have different ways of operating because they could see you struggle. Why we want them also to struggle? We have to come up with something new, right? And that's why organizations are perishing, because we are giving them the hula hoop. And that's why the second team is going to drop out, right? Because this was a different set of instructions. If these were rebellious Z generation kids, they say, madam, right? We are just going to get the hula hoop done, right? What do you want? The hula hoop to be passed from here to there? The task gets done. Why in that way only? And that is their question. If we are sitting here with no answers, we must say sorry to them, right? And that's the problem. Our recruitment, our style, our pattern, our tall structure, right? Our old, sometimes stale philosophies and policies are not helping the new generation. And it's not going to help, right? So that's the problem. And this is going to happen everywhere. And that is what he said, right? That let's ponder on how can things be changed. Because now we are saying, right, all this, it's fine, strategy, this, that. Do you think that we were not smart? But we were also smart, but we were not given with laptops. We were not given with computers, cell phones, virtual reality. That's their world, right? So it has to be smarter. It has to be different. Now the organizations has to have virtual reality, right? Has to have robots, has to have, then only they will be there. We are saying dropping out because our conditioning, our this and that. That is also important. But we are not putting, as Zulekha said, our conscious efforts, right? So that they can work in a different environment. Okay, so that is why sometimes we generally consider all these games to be always positive, but sometimes it's not. It's just to ponder on what we are doing, right? So you can see, right? We also turned as kids. Okay, so yeah, so that was it. So do you think, any questions? Yes, Gilbert.
In your opening remarks, you said more or less the same thing.
Yes.
When you said there's a lot of unlearning that must be done, and new skills need to be acquired. Now, going back to our workplaces, we would obviously be in the know in terms of this kind of challenge, while we've got our old colleagues who are still stuck in this kind of a system. So how do we then transform them and bring them to the same kind of mindsets that we were sort of privileged to through this?
All right.
Yeah,
I always,
maybe just
yeah.
to add on what he said.
Yes.
Gilbert said, it's quite tricky to bring the balance because you have old dogs like colleagues, and then you have the younger generation.
True.
So there is that conflict, and it's constant.
It's constant.
It's constant, and sometimes if one kid does not manage it, it can really explode because you can even see when you have meetings.
There's,
These ones, the old dogs sit together, the young ones, and that's the challenge and the reality we're actually facing currently.
and that's the hardcore reality. I'll address that question because it's a beautiful question and we do that. In MBA, there's an activity of bridging the gap, right? Between the generations. But we will address this, right? Okay, let me quickly go through chapter 5 at least before we go for, break, right? Tea break. Okay. Going back to what we have discussed, right, in terms of job description, as I've said, the recruitment and selection strategies have to be smarter, if I don't say different, right, have to be smarter so that we can have the right set of candidates. And as I have showed you, right, that public services is doing a lot of, the departments is doing a lot of things, right, with private sector business, so, private sector business to connect and contact, right, people and encourage South Africans to please join public sector departments, right? So that is recruitment that we have discussed. All right. Now a reward system, again, I'm going back to theoretical perspective. When there would be a question on reward system, I would expect you to go through both intrinsic rewards and extrinsic rewards, right? So rewards are of many types. Yesterday, I think Becky, he's not around, or someone, said that people should be remunerated for job done. Have you said? Right. So when we say that people should be remunerated for job done, we must also say that people must get rewarded for job well done. Right? So, yes, Singani. Yes?
I have remunerated for job done. Because the job done in my take the standard performance which an employee has been contracted to fulfill,
Yes.
which is the employer will continue to remunerate that much as
Yes.
part of the obligation from the contract. So, but I don't know whether
They should
notion
be-
that
yeah.
employees should be remunerated for job done. And the colleague or the fellow students wanted to say employees should be remunerated for, should be given performance bonuses for extraordinary work other than those which they are expected to perform.
That is what I also said. You just paraphrased it in different way. So people that are just doing their jobs, right, fulfilling the requirements, complying with what is required, so we have no authority but to pay them because they have completed their task. But people that are overperforming, right, people that are doing more than what is required, they must be rewarded the one that you have said performance bonus, right? So this is WD in HR terms. Job well done. You have done, plus you have done something extra, overperformed. And that is the difference between reward and remuneration. Remuneration you have to be paid, but reward is because you have done something extraordinary, right? Now, there could be a question, right, on rewards. What kind of rewards should be paid, right, to the employees? There is a theory of hygiene. It is called as hygiene theory of motivation, right? It was introduced by Herzberg. He said that most of the companies, and ourselves also, right, everybody, we are concentrating on extrinsic rewards, right? Extrinsic means tangible. Like he said, like Singhani said right now. Something that you can touch, feel, and show off to others, right? Like money, like performance bonus, like incentive, right? Money, what else? What you can show to others, what else? Okay? What else? What other things you can show? Nothing else. It's all about money, honey. Sorry? Okay. Many things. Okay, so gifts can be flat, car, right? Yeah, trips abroad. Yeah. Okay. All right, okay. Local trips. Okay. Okay. So can we also say trophy, right? Trophy, maybe medals, right? Certificates. Okay. So all these things you can touch, right? And you can see that there is something that you have been rewarded. Now, many I would say authors or research scientists, they said that these are the sources of motivating people, right? Tangible rewards. However, Herzberg said that there is a huge scope of intrinsic rewards as well. You don't stay in an organization only because of money or only because of gifts, right? I use the wrong term. You don't stay in an organization. You keep on working, you keep on contributing more for the organization, not only for this, but for this as well. I am not saying this, he said that, right? Intrinsic rewards. Intrinsic rewards means something that you can give to the people, right, without spending a lot of money, right? And these are internal aspects, right? This cannot be shown, this cannot be touched, this cannot be felt, but you are rewarded. For example? For example, what? Okay. There is a huge debate going on, Gab, in the world of academia. Right now, it's here, according to Herzberg. But many people are debating that when you are promoted, you are showing off, right? You can see the increased salary, right? So it's interesting. However, promotion itself, and that is why he said promotion is intrinsic, okay? But now people are debating that it should go there, right? So it should be. You agree? Yeah, so do I, right? But right now, nothing has been published, so I'll go with you, okay? So there are other aspects like recognition, right? You are recognized for something, right? Yeah. Simple thank you, right? Appreciation. Certificate is here because yes. Sense of achievement. sense of achievement. What else? It is said that decentralization or empowerment being given to you in order to power given to you to decide, right, is also empowerment, right? Then faith, trust and time. Faith shown by your seniors on you, right? Trust shown by them. Time given to you to perform are all the rewards, intrinsic rewards. According to him, right, a person does not keep on contributing more for the organization for extrinsic rewards, right? Because, for example, you are paid 80,000 rand a month, right? But you are almost abused every day by your boss, right? Daily there is a threat of losing your job. None of the subordinates listen to you. There is zero respect. You cannot decide on anything. And on the other hand, there is another job of 75,000 rand where you are treated as God, you are respected, no decision is being taken without your, without your suggestion, input, right? And you are continuously recognized and appreciated in public, right? So for which job you would like to go for? Many people say 80,000 rand. Okay, so after a stage, right, it's not only extrinsic rewards that matters. People get motivated more because of intrinsic rewards, because they need respect, because they need value, because they need significant position so that they can contribute and make changes in others' lives. So he says, why this is called as hygiene theory of motivation, he says that these things are not unimportant, but like basic hygiene is required in office, in home, in order to stay in that home, in order to work in that organization, right? Basic things. These are those basic requirements, right? Basic. You won't work if you are not paid at least that amount. I'm coming to you again, right? You are not going to stay in that organization. So according to him, this is just helping you to work and stay. But these are the factors of motivation. These are motivation factors that are actually pushing you to contribute more. Not this, but this, right? That is what his philosophy is. That intrinsic rewards play a major, major role in most of the organizations for motivating employees. These are not motivational factors, but just the hygiene factors that are helping you not to be dissatisfied from that organization. Otherwise, you're just going to leave and go to some other organization. So you are being remunerated for these things, right? But you are getting rewarded or getting motivated because of these. This is his philosophy, right? Not mine. You may or may not agree. Yes?
Maybe. Like I've been struggling.
Yes.
I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a motivational speaker. I stay in Soweto in a backyard. I don't have a car. I walk to the taxi. I use a taxi. And then I'm invited to go and motivate these young people. And then at the same time, you know, there are two of us actually who are there. There is this other celebrity who has got, you know, these modern cars, you know, they're driving these expensive cars, these expensive clothes. I'm just, you know, an ordinary person. But then whatever that I have to tell these people is much more empowering than the other person.
Celebrity, yeah.
But then, unfortunately, because the one question is, what is it that you are going to show us to motivate us?
What you have, that like the other person is going to say, I have
because
this, yeah.
in today's world, the motivation does not come from what you say. It mostly comes from what you have. And that is how we have empowered the society. And that is the reason why sometimes when you say you are doing a master's degree, some people will look at you and say, wait, we want people who are going to show us, you know, what they have achieved, not you. You have
Yeah.
got a PhD, but
Yeah.
maybe you don't have a job and all those things. You get what I'm saying? So I think if you look at the extrinsic
Yes.
motivational aspects, yes, they are there. They are actually mostly preferred by most people. And that is the reason why this person will just walk in here and everybody here will say, here is the most successful person. You walk in, you have got the wealth of knowledge, you have so much to offer the people, but unfortunately because you don't have the material stuff to show the people, then they are saying, you must wait. And that is exactly what is happening even at work.
All right.
Those that have got 1, 2, 3 to show, they are most respected, but unfortunately if you don't have anything, they say, wait a little bit, let's see people who can show us something.
All right. So thank you for your input, and I absolutely go with you, right? And that is why this model was huge. So this was the second model, right, of motivation. After that, around 16 more models have been introduced, like Room's expectancy theory, ESG theory, a lot of other theories. This is still used, right? Okay. I'm coming to you. This is still used, right, by many, many people. And because of different schools of thought, right, what at this end, because I read a lot in terms of HR, what has been concluded with reference to this theory only, that society or job life, because it is only related to job life, right, not with reference to the people that are not employed at this extent, and the people that have completed their job life and are retired. It's only for the people that are in the job. Okay, first of all. So it was thought and concluded, still a lot of discussions are going on, that this is actually applicable after a level of employment, right? When you are at initial level of employment, like in entry level, middle level management, then you are revolving around, going back to Maslow's theory of needs, you are going around, revolving around materialistic aspects of life, right? And then it's only extrinsic rewards that matter, right? Because time won't permit. There is a CEO that is known for writing handwritten notes to people, right? And he has written more than 20,000, right? Sorry, more than 30,000 handwritten notes specific. I would write to Zulekha for her performance. And there are only 17,000 employees in that company. It's called Campbell, right? And Campbell is in France, in Germany, in Mexico. You name the country, it's there. That means he has written that letter, one letter, more than once to each employee. 17,000 employees, 30,000 letters. And he said that he keeps on walking and believing management by walking around. And he said that he could see those letters framed, right? Nicely framed, or in billboards, because CEO writing you a letter specifically for your performance carries importance. So, and he said that it's employee engagement, it's Harvard Business Review article, right, and video as well, that employee engagement was 17 out of 20, right? 17 people used to leave out of 20. After he started doing this, it has reduced down to 7 out of 20, right? Because now people think that, yes, the leaders are associated with us. But if we take this scenario, right, to South African aspect, and I go back to Gilbert's question, the wage worker, right, the miner, you give the people that are working in mining sector, you give them CEO's letter, and in an envelope you give them 2,500 rand. What are they going to take, right? 2,500. But the senior manager that is working in that mining company itself, right, will not maybe, right, appreciate 2,500, but he will appreciate the CEO's letter. So it's depending from level to level, right, that what actually matters. When you are at physiological level and security needs level of Maslow's theory, I don't think this is applicable. It is only applicable when you are at self-esteem needs. Things are already met, right? So anything that is intrinsic, intangible, matters for you a lot, right? Because that is giving you a sense of satisfaction. Because you are done with those security aspects. You are not insecure, right? You are established in the market. So, so that is what it's not that it should be rejected outrightly, but it cannot be accepted at every step or at every situation. But this is what is the fancy world, right? As you said, you are a motivational speaker, right? And both things, right? And this gives you a feel-good factor. But when you get into the grassroots level of employment, many a times this does not work, right? But we have to appreciate both the philosophies. All right, thank you. Yes, you wanted to say something, yes. Okay, all right, okay. So, you are, absolutely. All right, so let's take a break, and then when we come back at, what? Maybe 10 past 11, and then we complete chapter 5 and 6, and then we'll do labor legislations. All right? But we are, whatever I'm saying, it's very, very related to your assessment, so you're not going to lose anything, right? So I'm hitting hard on the assessment aspects, right, when we are discussing anything. So yeah, just keep on noting down whatever I'm saying, or whatever I'm drawing in here, right? All right, okay. Okay. So we have discussed about, before the tea break, we have discussed about intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, and as we have discussed and agreed maybe, that hygiene theory of motivation, right, by Hertzberg is applicable only at a particular stage or after a particular stage, right? We also discussed about job analysis, and it is very important, again to repeat, and job analysis is the process of designing a job, which is called as job design. Job design is further demarcated in 3 other components, which is job description, job specification, and job evaluation. And candidates that apply for job are called as job incumbents, right? We have discussed a little about recruitment and selection, right? And how recruitment strategies should be different in order to attract right set of people. And as we know that the job incumbents characteristics would be different because they are youngsters and different to what we have seen and witnessed. So that is why the world, right, our endeavor should also be different, catering to their needs, expectations, and demands, right? Okay, so this division of labor, right, this is generally, right, I would say termed as Henry Fayol 14 types of division of labor. So in case there is something called as Henry Fayol, HENRYFAYOL, just don't get confused that what the question is all about, right? HENRYFAYOL. He has given these characteristics. Because before this, right, it is somewhere around second industrial revolution, when people were practicing scientific management only, right? Scientific management means people used to be remunerated only on 2 bases. First basis was the number of hours you are going to work, right? Or second was the number of pieces you produce. Because most of the people were workers, right? And they were remunerated, that was called a scientific management era, right? So after that, something came in which was introduced by Henry Fayol, right? He said that these are humans, not machines, right? That you are remunerating people only on the basis of number of hours worked or number of pieces produced. And that is why, slowly, steadily, things started changing in, right? And he said that there should be division of labor. There are different departments that the work should be segregated, right? And then he said that there should be unity of command. There should be managers that are going to manage a set of people. And then what Becky was referring to yesterday, that there should be span of control, there should be structure, right, which gave rise to hierarchy, right, which gave rise to different departments, different levels of people that are working in the same department. Then he said for some of the works there should be centralization, and for some of the tasks there should be decentralization. And he is the one that introduced these two these two topics. And he is considered as, Henry Fayol is considered as father of organization behavior, right? Because he gave sense to human beings working in the organization, right? Then he gave rise to open system, right? Organization as open system, the concept of transparency, the concept of speaking to people, the concept of whatever policies are designed must be, right, spoken to people at later stages was given by him, right? Then the virtual organization and the boundaryless organizations, that means the concept of internationalization, right? He gave internationalization, right, a term. Now, prior to MNC concept, what is MNC? What is MNC? MNCs, we keep on saying MNC, right? It's a top MNC, MNC. What is MNC? You have never heard of MNCs? No, you're joking. You can't say that to me. No, MNC. What is MNC? Really? When I say MNCs, what do you mean by MNCs? Is Unilever an MNC? Is Procter & Gamble an MNC? Is Massmart an MNC? That's so...
It's an industry.
No. Okay. Hey? So MNC means multinational corporations. MNCs, right? Multinational corporation. Singani. Okay. Multinational corporation. Yeah, it's an abbreviation. So it's the only lingo that you use, MNCs. You know, nowhere it said multinational corporation. But you have never used MNC.
I've never used it as, is it an acronym or?
See, all of you are BBTs, right? No, MNC is a term, right? Like BBC. Do we ever say British Broadcasting Corporation, right? We know BBC as BBC. Similarly, MNC is MNC, right? Okay, all right. So what I was saying is, before MNCs, right? So South Africa is being operated by MNCs. Most of the employment is being generated by MNCs, right? So big corporates like Vodacom, MNC, right? Massmart, MNC. So, so MNCs was after international companies, right? These are multinational companies. And we must know the difference. So Massmart is not an international company. It's a multinational company. What is the difference? The difference is that international companies operate in 2 to 3 countries only, okay? But in order to get a status, there are South African MNCs. That means these are companies that are working in South Africa, owner is of South Africa, and these South African companies are working in more than 10 other international countries. More than 10.
Like MTN.
Very good, like MTN. MTN is a South African MNC, right? So that means MNC, please, we all must know whether we are Masters of Public Management student or Masters of MBA of Business Administration student. So an MNC, initially before 2010, has to, right, was supposed to operate in more than 20 countries other than the parent country, which has reduced down to 10. And MNCs are the only companies that has given rise to the world called globalization. Before that, globalization was of no use because there were no MNCs, right? So MNCs means companies that are operating in the parent country and in 10 other countries. All of them, MNC means these companies will have to register themselves in the National Stock Exchange of those 10 countries. They have to have a head office in those 10 countries, right? They have to have branch offices in those 10 countries. Not only head offices, but other offices. And employees of those 10 countries, that is giving the concept of a multinational corporations, right? Which is a part of these two. So if there is a question on MNC, don't put your wide eyes open. What is this now? Mentoring and coaching, or what you said? Something master of ceremony, right? Okay. And so these two, right, is giving the concept of globalization. Trevor, please. I would like to discuss about female and male diversity, means female and male biasness in South Africa. So, according to research, 90.8% of the CEOs and senior level managers and board of directors in South Africa are males. It's only 9.2 of them are females. Why is that so? According to Businesswoman right? Businesswoman Association of South Africa. Yes. And some males, can you please
Can you repeat the question, though?
sorry?
Can you repeat the question?
So the question is about, so have you heard the term glass ceiling effect? There is huge glass ceiling effect in South Africa. Why? Because I am not saying that. It's according to Businesswomen Association. 90.8 right, percent of the CEOs and senior level managers and board of directors job, right, spaces are being taken by males of South Africa.
In the private sector.
Yes, Businesswomen Association. In the private sector, not in public sector. Why do you think so?
It's deliberate.
It's deliberate.
Yes. There's a problem of mindset. Because the main dominance in the private sector is so prevalent.
Not in public. In public, it's because of regulations.
No,
that females are making.
public no.
Okay.
Because of
Why?
regulations you can't.
Okay.
Yeah, most of sometimes.
Because of regulations, right?
Yes. Because then it's policy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they would advertise and say
Yes. It has to be a
it
female.
has to be a female, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
But in the private sector,
Yeah.
it's different. These guys on top, they decide. It's a male club symbol.
So where is diversity in South Africa then? When there is huge difference, and should there was, so assuming that there was no tight regulations in public sector, do you think the possibility of females rising to the high level was going to be like the current scenario?
I would be in a very slow pace.
Sorry,
I would assume to be in a very slow pace.
in a very slow pace.
Because
Yeah.
in the private sector, government uses, although the regulatory measures are not assertive enough, government uses broad-based black economic empowerment to advance transformation on board of directors, composition of the board, and other levels of companies. But the problem with it is that if a company business, it's not reliant, excuse me, I'm on the floor. If company business, it's not reliant on government business to sustain itself. That company may be unwilling to transform on the board and on the composition of the board and the board of directors, which therefore leaves government with no influence whatsoever. And this issue is so prevalent in tourism-related companies and many other companies around the country in various sectors. So without regulations in the public sector, my analysis informs me that transformation will be slow for women to be in top decision-making positions of various sector departments and public entities. And now the private sector, the scope can't change overnight. There's a long way to go for it to change.
Do you think women are competent enough to fight with males?
Yes, there are women who are competent. The space on merit. The space then becomes, the operational environment then becomes as if the ground was prepared for her, such that whether she is informed or not informed, whether she's skilled or not skilled, she will feel as if the environment was given to her, was prepared for her, and not her abilities.
Yes.
I would like to support actually these decisions. But I think the mental shift has not yet been prepared in such a way that we accept women. We actually, in some way, I can say, we take it for granted that we are actually accepting
Yes.
of women
Yes.
as leaders.
Yes.
But we have not really moved to that gear. We only talk about it. We only talk about it, but we have not put it into practice. If you look at most public institutions where there are women leaders, you'll find that their behavior are being judged based on their gender. If they act in a particular way, so many things are going to be said, going to be judged harshly. But then you find a male leader will do the same thing,
Yes.
but will be judged differently. You can even look at political. Remember what happened with Tulima Donse when she came in, and she was very,
Brave, bold, yeah.
she was very fair. So many things have been said about her. But if it was a male,
Male. Yeah.
then
Would have
it
been
was
taken
going
as
to
a
be-
strong leader.
Yeah, very differently. So I think,
Yeah.
and this is not just South Africa.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Actually, the whole worldwide, where you find women have not yet. There are so many things that are actually linked to women. The emotions. She behaves this way because women are emotionally, like this, are emotional beings, and so many things which I cannot say here. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you believe that that's true, right? We are not giving right scope to females, right? At least to the extent that they deserve. Do you think so? In private sector,
I believe that
not only. Huh? So what they deserve, they're not getting it.
In the private sector.
Not in public sector. You think that they're getting it?
In the public sector,
Yeah.
it varies from one sector department to the other. Where I come from, top management, women are in majority. The top layer and the lower layer and the middle layer. And these are capable men and women who are driving the agenda. Yeah, that's how it is. But there is a department which I would not name here. One portfolio committee meeting once told them as why all the DG, Deputy Director Generals are all male. They couldn't answer before the portfolio committee. And that could just be a tip of an iceberg if other department structural composition were to be brought to the fore on how they've been composed. While we recognize that efforts has been made and progress has been made in the public sector, but the level that is expected for women to be based on their credentials and qualifications may not be where government has envisaged that it ought to be.
All right, that's great. And I would not also like to name the department. One of our PhD students, right, is doing his research. He's a male, and he's doing a research on the disbalance between male and female employees in Department of in public sector. And he's looking for the root causes, that what are the causes. And that's his PhD topic. Right? So, so that means it does exist in public sector as well. Maybe not to that extent like in private sector, but it does, right? So, so diversity is an issue, right? And I would like to share a video of the first CEO of ArcelorMittal, was the only student in her mechanical engineering class, only student. And she believes that it's still, right? And she has created, she's a torchbearer, because looking at her, people can join ArcelorMittal, which is hardcore manufacturing, mechanical engineering sector. Females are joining. Still, there is a huge scope, right, for females to grow in South Africa. Right? Let's witness and then we'll go ahead.
Was the only woman in my class at engineering school, so I just got.
Right? Do you agree? Females? Even males are saying yes. All right. Okay. So just an example. All right. Okay. So now quickly we will discuss leadership theories. Right? There are quite a few in your study guide. Leadership theories. Motivation, you can, Maslow's theory we know, right? We know. This I'm going to talk later. Yeah, from here. I am not finding leadership theories. All right. See in your study guide. Can you give me the names of leadership, just the names? It's going to take time to find where exactly. Leadership style, okay, good. Okay, democratic. Because I could see great man theory. Yeah, where is that? Page 76. Okay. Yeah. Let me quickly write. So I'll start with style, right? Then we will discuss theories. I don't know if there are models as well. No, there's no model. All right. So we have to discuss great man, trait, charismatic, tendency, transformational, transactional, and holistic. Right. So the weakest theory in this world about leadership, right, is laissez-faire. Okay. So first of all, what is the difference between style, theory, and models leadership? Right? Leadership style is something that was already done by people. Right? That style was executed by somebody. And after that leadership style was executed, people thought, what kind of a style was that? For example, when we say autocratic, we refer to Hitler, right? So after people have executed their leadership, right, then researchers pondered over whatever they have done. And then we said that this is leadership style, right? Then we said directive style, participative style, autocratic style, telling style, selling style, right? Different type of styles. Theories means those were already introduced, right, by researchers, research scientists, or behavioral scientists. Now, knowing that, right, people know there's something called as great man theory, and then they believe in their practice. Then we use this as theory, right? So those were introduced first, and then theory came in. Style was leadership was practiced by people, and later people said it is a style of leader, right? So these are two different things. Now, what is model? Model means when people are executing, these are completely done on research basis, right? So like Maslow's theory of motivation, right? That is a combination of model as well as theory. Right? That means researchers are going to various leaders. They are studying various leaders and coming up with research with a model, with a flow chart. That actually leadership is this, this and this, which is applicable not on the leaders, but on the employees. So Maslow's theory of motivation, it cannot be practiced by me as a leader, but I can use that model to motivate people, right? Vroom's theory, right? For example, Friedman model. If I know that model, I will know how to apply that leadership, right, in order to motivate my employees. I cannot practice that. I can practice theory or I can practice style, right? So theory and style are for leaders, but leadership models are to execute in a way so that people get motivated. So these are three different ways, and you mustn't use them as one. All right? And whenever you see models, so in these are just the concepts, and there are more than 28 leadership styles, right, and more than 56 leadership theories. So I did my PhD in leadership, right? And I had to go ahead with each leadership style. And I literally went bonkers after I did the PhD, right? Because things are literally, they claim that they are different, but they are very overlapping, right? And you really need to be a voracious reader to understand the thin line of differences. And my PhD was on leadership behavior, not on any of three things, right? So the behavior that you execute as a leader, right, which is very different from these three, right? So that was minute into behavioral aspects. So that is why, like we must not use induction and orientation, like we must not use recruitment and selection, we must not use leadership style and theories as well. Okay? Alright. So I'll start with theories. First one is great man. It's easy. Great man. Great man says that when leaders are born, not made, right from the first day of their birth, right, they have capacity to influence people, right? That is what is great man theory. So people are still, and this is the theory that is still not established, because many of the people are still debating that, and I would also debate, otherwise I'll lose my job, right? That leaders are made, right? You can make leaders. You can make people that are extremely introvert, cannot even speak a single word in front of people. I'm reading a book called The Growing Greatness. It's the bestseller of 2018. And the author of that book, you know Joe Public. All the advertisements of Nando's and this one, Chicken Licken, right? The advertisement agency is Joe Public. So the managing director and chief creative designer of Joe Public are our students. So I'm reading The Growing Greatness written by Pepe Murray. He's the managing director. So in there, it's written right throughout his phases of ups and downs. He was a person that could not even speak a single word. He used to shiver, right? Speaking in front of people, he used to avoid. In case there are 10 people talking to each other, before he is pointed out, he used to run out of that cluster, right? And now he's the one that has gone to, 71 countries and motivational speaker, doing everything, advertisement, agency, and right. So there are so many examples wherein you can't even speak a single word, you can be a motivation speaker, you can be a leader. Sorry? The growing greatness. Once I finish it, I'll give you. All right. So such a fantastic book. So leaders are made. Okay. Otherwise, leadership PhD, my thesis should be gone. Right. Okay. So still, many people say that somewhere or the other, that characteristic is hidden, right? Which is crafted by people. Okay. But that crafting is done by people, right? Okay. So that's great man theory. Now, trade theory was severely debated, right, and it was contradicted and it was rejected as well. Trade theory said that leaders have certain kind of characteristics, right? They're tall, they're like heavy voice, right? They are very strong people, right? They have leadership physical attributes, right? That they look like leaders. Their physical attributes are so strong that they are considered as leaders by the followers. Then Mahatma Gandhi came, right, with his body, right, and then he contradicted trade theory like anything. Then Adolf Hitler was there, right, tinier than me, right, voice was like right, then too, right, he is the one that ruled the world. So that is why people came in, right, with absolutely opposite characteristics of what was mentioned in trade theory, right, and this theory was contradicted. So people went back to great man theory that people are born, whatever the height, whatever the physical attributes, people are born with leadership characteristics. Then came, this is also related with situational leadership, it's not mentioned in there. Contingency, charismatic as you know, right? It's the charisma in personality, it's the vibe, right? It's again leadership inbuilt charisma that turns you into a leader, right? Which is not very complicated. Complication is situational leadership or contingency leadership. This leadership says that people again were not born leaders, but some of the pressing situations, pressing contingencies, right, have given them a push to turn into a leader. Like in Peter Moritzburg, when he was thrown out of the train, before that he was a lawyer, right, and hardly had any concern for anybody, right, Mahatma Gandhi. So when he was thrown out at that situation, he felt like if being a lawyer, affluent family, this is what I am treated with, what about the people that are not even affluent? And that contingency, many a times, when it's earthquake, right? When it's casualties, when it's tough situations, then in those contingencies, people take the lead, volunteer, right? They are the volunteers, and they're treated as God and leaders. So those contingencies have made them leaders, rather than say leaders, transformational leader, and it is said that Nelson Mandela is in none of them. He's a visionary leader. Visionary leader means he has used a term which is widely published now. The term is romance of tomorrow, right? Romance of tomorrow means he has used a philosophy which we teach now in mentoring and coaching, which is called as greater than dissatisfaction. What is greater than dissatisfaction? So and it was used by other leaders also that were living in oppressed societies. What he said, that the situation that you are in, right, people somehow adjusted before him, that this is what we're going to live in, right? But he said that you deserve a far better tomorrow, right? Look for that tomorrow, fantasize that tomorrow, imagine that tomorrow. We all, right, believe, deserve, and are proud to be in that tomorrow. Let's work together. And be dissatisfied with the current situation that you are in. And that force was so strong, right? That gave what? Birth to a new South Africa. So that philosophy is, and it is continuous, right? And leading by example. That romance for tomorrow is so strong that I'm in prison for 27 years. Right, so that philosophy is called as visionary leadership, showing all the entire crowd, the entire mass, the vision that he has, right? And it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to have that, which is not India. But yeah, but you can say transformation of society, but it's not the same leadership. All right. The next is transactional leadership, and I believe okay, here it's not there. That's the latest leadership, transformational and transactional leadership style. It was, I would say, introduced or developed by Ohio University's USA, OHIO, right? Transactional leadership says that everything in this world is about give and take, right? The more, so if you are, so you as a public servant, or people as private servant, right? They are getting rewards not by doing nothing, right? Whatever you are earning, yeah, it's not for free. You have to do something to get something. It's all about give and take relationships. Transactional leaders are very good in using reward power. If you are really doing good, they are the one that can bestow you with a lot of rewards, if they hold the power, right? But they also believe in that if you don't do the work, right, they have complete capacity to use negative reinforcement, not punishment. Negative reinforcement in a way that you get motivated and work again, because you are not working for free, right? That is their mindset. It's all about transactions, right? So it can be a state of 19 and 20. I am giving 20, you are giving 19. But there cannot be a state of 18 and 20. That I am giving you 20 and you are working 18. And then they are the one that are the hardest leaders of all. They are not autocratic. They are very, very smart in using love, care, reward, so that will work. Okay, that is transaction. Transformation. Not in any manner.
Barack Obama died before him. It's not even first person.
Yeah, it's an overlap of many actually. Yeah, there are many leadership like spiritual leadership, servant leadership, there are many that are not mentioned. So he falls in another, there is authentic leadership as well. So yeah, a bit of authentic leadership and charismatic leadership, but he's purely transactional. It's very transactional. So yeah, so he's a pinch of everything. But not in this one, but he was authentic. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to say anything about Trump.
Yeah, that you leave it, right? Trump, you have not watched that video, right? Throwing out the cemetery.
I've seen him taking on the journalist.
Yeah.
And telling the journalist to shut up.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Then laissez-faire style of leadership. Holistic is overall, right? As we all know. Transformational, I believe, is very saintly and priestly. But maybe because I am not at that self-actualization stage, that it's difficult for me to internalize. But so far, this has been considered as the best style of leadership ever. It's the transformation. Yeah, it's the best style of leadership because it transforms the person from within, right? Which is not easy staying in a job scenario, right? Maybe it's easy when you are in a different scenario, right? But in a job scenario, it's difficult, right? However, transformational leadership incorporates spiritual quotient, right? Incorporates emotional quotient, right? And they believe that the person gets transformed, right? And they get fully committed and full loyalty towards whatever they are doing, if not the organization. So it's very complicated, and because I never could not, resonate with what they are saying, I've not read much about it. But that is the latest one, right? If you want, you can, and if you are resonating, you can always go and for the knowledge purposes. Okay, laissez-faire is the weakest form of leadership because the leader gives everything, right? The decision-making power, right? The consensus, right? And everything to the followers. That this is the situation, you tell me what to do, right? So followers overpower leaders because they believe that people should be happy, right? So if people are not happy, there is no point of practicing leadership. And that is why democratic leaders are good, right? because at least they are working on majority wills, right? So, but laissez-faire is whoever, whatever decides, right? It's fine, and that is why it failed badly in all markets, right? Whether it's public sector, it's private sector. All right, now it's style of leadership, and there are many, but I believe that these are the 4 major ones that we must know, and rest you can take care on your own. Autocratic, democratic, directive, and participative. Autocratic, do what I say, right? There is no deviation, no diversion, no undermining. Singandi? Singani. No undermining, no deviation, right? Nothing. So whatever I say, you have to do, right? Democratic, you know, democratic word we are still staying in. Directive style and participative style, right? Directive style means he believes in direction, right? Direction means he's not gonna assist you continuously, but he will only assist you when you will ask him to do. He'll say, I am there, I am going to support you, I'm helping you, I'm doing everything for you. But not always that, so what should I do for you, what should I do for you? He does not believe in that kind of a style. He believes in, he gives complete empowerment, but he's not going to leave your hands, right? But you will be the one that will volunteer to ask, sir, madam, I need help. He will be the first one to help. But he is not helping, intruding always on a continuous basis, right? So that is a directive leader. Then the 4th leader, but not the least, and he's very, very smart and shrewd and cunning. Why? Because he sounds like a laissez-faire leader. He would, before taking a decision, he would ask for everyone's opinion. Your opinion, your opinion, your opinion. And at last, he takes the opinion what he believes is right. Right? It's very, very difficult to execute because that kind of a leader is smart. No one will be left unhappy. You will believe, yeah, Gilbert, I was hurt. Yeah, I was hurt. Wow, I participated. Say, yes, well done. Wow, we're going to do it. But at last, he does what he believes is right. Right? It could be picking one's idea. It could be collaborative idea. And you will feel as if your idea was heard. Right? That is what is participative style of leadership. Right? Otherwise, you'll be beaten to death, right? If you're not smart enough. So it's very intrinsic kind of a thing, and people are good enough to practice participative style. All right, so these are some of the styles, rest you can read, right? Okay, so last is compensation management, and these are some of the factors of compensation management, right? I have discussed emotional intelligence and SQ yesterday, isn't it? Emotional intelligence when I started. Emotional intelligence. Remember, when I discussed, Regensis integrated model. Discussed everything, right? So without putting much time, right? So as I said, that spiritual intelligence is all about higher purpose, right? And when it's higher purpose, then these are some of the points. It's a module, right? And it's so big that I cannot put much efforts in that right now because we have to go back to discuss acts, right? Of those 4 or 5 acts. So these are the components, right? I don't know whether you know Nick Vujicic or not. Nick Vujicic. He is the highest paid motivational speaker of the world. He's the person with no arms and no limbs. He's an Australian, and he's the highest. Whether it's Mercedes, whether it's BMW, whether it's name the company, he is always hired for motivational speech, right? So just a speech of an, Google his name, you'll find more than 250 videos of him, right? And what I believe that he is such an icon of spiritual intelligence. If you know your purpose of your being, right, then even if you have nothing, and we have everything then to be born, right? Even if you have nothing, you can still live with joy and peace. Right, then our chapter 1, 4, 5 and 6 is done. We'll start with chapter 3, right? Do everything. What people with hands and legs can't do. And he had nothing when he started. And now he's like one of the billionaires in this world. He's paid like crazy. And now it has turned very commercial, right? But when he actually started, he's the top notch, as I said. But it's such an example of what we believe we can do. So that's the spiritual intelligence. Just a pinch of spiritual intelligence yesterday we have discussed. Now I would like the team, right, to be the class to be divided in two. And I don't want you to present, but I want you to do role play, right? You know role play, right? You're going to really do it nicely because you are such a drama. All right, okay. So I'm going to give you from some page to other page, right? And you need to make a situation wherein those acts could be incorporated, right? I have given it to MBA students and they have turned into a pregnant lady that is looking for leave. Then the boss is bossy and the lady is showing that how acts can be, right, thrown back on him, that this is not possible, that he is illegal, right? Incorporating all those points which can be thrown, right, in a job life. And you do it daily, on a daily basis. You refer to the acts, right? So create a situation so that we can understand, right, that how it is applicable in day-to-day scenario. Okay? So I'm going to give you and make it nice, like students, right? So I'm going to give you page, this batch, this table. And if you want, you can swap around. Maybe you're sitting with the same old stale faces, right? Okay, so page 45 to page 56 to table 1. Please join them. 2 can come here, 1 can go there. All right? Create situations in an office life where you don't have to incorporate each act, where you believe that the regulations of these acts can be incorporated in a job life scenario. Okay? And for you, page 56 to page 57 to page 46 to page 51. Okay? And page 42. Yes. Let's not put slash calculation. From 52 46 to 51. Okay? So, think about the situation. Daily work with us. Alright? Nice, right? So we create. And this is going to be recorded. Yes. Yes, please. This is going to be recorded. We are going to post this, right? On Facebook, on social media, that MBA students work like this, right? And it's getting recorded. So you will find yourself. Why? No, you must sound smart. So what you're creating? Yeah, you are creating a situation wherein either you are a manager or it's a union, that is something possible, right? Wherein you're going to go back and say, hey, talking nonsense, right? Let's refer to this, right? And you will not refer to, right? This and this action. Okay? So what are those situations that come up? And as it is getting recorded, we'll use video recording, right? A video cutter, and this portion we will post on the internet. You can use your spaces to act what you're going to do. Yeah. Read the policies first. Yes. 46 to 51, then 52 to 59.
Yeah, how to 51. Yeah, how to 54.
46 compensation.
Yeah, how to 54. Just 54.
Compensation. So there's a compensation. You don't take it.
So do we have to come up with a storyline?
Yes.
Combine everything.
So I am Dr. Abhinanda Gautam. I am in the class of MPM Strategic Human Resource Management, and behind me, MPM students are standing. They are instructed to act and portray and incorporate the legal acts of South Africa. So Mr. Gilbert, can you please come here? He's a student of MPM HR, and he's going to narrate what is the act all about, and he's also going to introduce the characters of this act. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Doc. Colleagues, thank you very much. So in our act, we have chosen a municipality as a scene. And this municipality has a challenge about overtime. The overtime, obviously, you know, is captured in the Labor Relations Act. And as it's captured in the Labor Relations Act, it touches also the storyline itself. It touches on issues of discrimination. It touches on issues of employment equity and benefits. If I may quickly introduce the actors. On our left-hand side, we have a supervisor that is in charge of the complainant, which is actually one of the employees that is going to be laying a complaint. Second to the supervisor is the manager to the supervisor, where the employee will be going to lay her complaint. And right in the middle there, we've got our main character, which is Uzoleka, and she's the one who's going to cause all the commotion. And then next to her, we have our PA, yes, and she's the one who is working with the manager. And lastly, it's a colleague whom I work with, the same part that I will be taking on. We're basically colleagues, the middle, the main complainant, myself, and Usisfikile. All right. Thank you very much. No, let's go that side. Do we still need this? We'll just raise our voices. Or is that fine? All right. Or unless maybe we give the main character, the one that's going to be doing a lot of talking. Yeah. There we go. Hold.
That's the thing. I've got a loud voice, so it's fine.
Morning, Mr. Nkuna.
Morning, Deb.
Chief, I have come to submit a working plan for the week, but I have nominated 2 people
Okay.
who will be working over the weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday. Of course, the overtime will not exceed 8 hours. And the names of the people are Figile and Gilbert. I thought I should submit this work plan to you, Mr. Nkuna, so that you can then approve the work plan.
Okay, thank you. Bring it here. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I then implement?
Yes.
Okay,
Can.
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Our leadership.
Peter.
Are you back?
Yes.
What's happening tomorrow?
Yes.
Happy.
I'm fine, I'm fine.
I'm good,
Yes, I'm
Katie.
fine. Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, you'll be working overtime.
What's the hours there?
8 hours. 8 hours.
So it's 4-4.
Please don't exceed
All
more
right.
than 8 hours because it will be against labor relations. So we need to stick.
No. Thank you. Thank you very much. We will do so. We will be here tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sharp, sharp.
See you.
Sharp,
Call
sharp.
you. Friend.
No, we will be able to push Ikododo.
Friend. We really need this.
Yeah, so we're working tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
Come in. Sorry, Sisi. Sorry, ngijampe. Mlungu.
Yes.
Nginenkinga. I've got a problem.
What is the problem?
Some people over and over and over again.
Sorry, do you want to sit down?
No, I don't want to.
Water?
Young Shisa, it's too much for me.
Water?
I can't.
Okay.
Mlungu.
No.
Ngicela
Let's
ukuthi-
listen to her.
Okay.
Could you please assist? Every weekend, week in, week out, it's the same people working overtime. Others of us are overlooked in this department.
Okay.
I need action to be taken.
Wha-
And today. Now. In fact, now.
Okay. Why is it like that? Why are you not allocated overtime?
Are you asking me?
Yes,
I
you're
am-
the one who is complaining.
That lady, my
Oh.
colleague, should I give you the name?
Yes,
I've got evidence for you.
I said the name.
Ufikile.
Okay.
Week in, week out. Ngacheka your schedule. She is always working overtime. Gilbert is also part of it.
You mean the supervisor?
I don't even want to go to the supervisor. Because the supervisor, I think that is the reason why Fikile is always on overtime. Supervisor is dial direct.
Oh, what is meant by that? Dial direct?
They call each other baby.
Oh, okay.
And Gama weekend, I know they hang out together.
Okay.
That's why I don't get overtime. And Fikile gets it every weekend.
Oh, meaning they might be having some relationships.
Not might be. They do.
Ooh, okay. All right. It's touching a lot of acts, what we are complaining about. According to the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, we should look at the issues of overtime. The people who are working overtime, do you know that they are not supposed to be exceeding 40 hours per month?
They do. Those two.
Is it not because yourself you might have exceeded 40 hours?
I am coming here to tell you I don't get overtime. How can I exceed if I don't get?
Okay, all right, okay. The other thing, maybe just for you to know, is that there are people who are earning more than the threshold. Our threshold in the municipality is 217,000. Are you not one of those, according to the police?
Excuse me, I'm at the minimum.
Okay.
I am at the minimum, and as far as I know, Fikile joined the municipality after me, and she's on the maximum scale, but yet she gets overtime every weekend.
Oh, the issue of employment equity. I think that is the problem. You are being treated unfairly.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Okay. You said something about the relationship between the supervisor and Fikile. If we get into investigations, are we going to find something?
Oh, I do. Lot of evidence. I've got it.
Okay. What you should know is that according to the Equity Act, you are not supposed to be sidelined or to be ill-treated.
Thank you, Mlungu.
You are protected when it comes to that.
Thank you.
Maybe just to check, there are issues of skills here. Maybe because they are going to do something which you don't have skills on. What are they doing during the weekend?
I was told this weekend, apparently it's a water issue and so. But what I also know, the very same Fikile gets training and I've been overlooked for training.
Okay.
Maybe that's another issue.
Oh, right. It means that you should note it, the issue of Skills Development Act. We have to take it for training. I think what we should do now is for us to visit the site, isn't now it's...
Oh, ngajabula, let's go.
Aye.
Because the other thing, Mlungu, what I also know, they clock more than 8 hours. But if you can go on site right now, I'm sure they are lying under the trees and having breakfast or whatever. But they actually work only for 20 minutes. And the rest, they clock it. They are not doing anything.
Okay.
I can go with you.
No, it's good. We shall monitor their, what they are doing now. Because they brought to me the weekly plan. I know where they are. Let's go.
Thank
Can
you.
you accompany us? It's true.
I told you. I told you.
How are you?
Oh, leadership.
How are you? How are you?
We're just waiting for equipment and replacement parts.
Which
We've ordered parts.
No. You're sitting here. What's happening? You're not at work. And according to your plans, you will be working 8 hours. The municipality is supposed to be paying you for 8 hours. What's happening?
We were just taking a break, but the parts are coming.
We've got time for break. That is 1 o'clock. We've
But
got
we
no
can't
more
work,
time.
can't work without equipment. How can you do the work without equipment? Still waiting.
I told you, Umlungu, can you see? The one
What
thing I
is this?
didn't
What is
mention to
this?
you, Gilbert is covering this one.
No way,
because
no.
she is the girlfriend, she
No,
is
you
the
took too
girlfriend.
much.
She
Stop
is being
talking.
covered,
No.
always. It's always
This
the
one is
case.
jealous.
No, what's
This
going
one-
on?
No,
It's
it's
very
not
jealous.
about being jealous. I'm here. I found you sitting.
But we're waiting. Tell him, Gilbert. Tell him.
No, we're monitoring the pipe burst.
Yours is to close.
We've already dig the hole. You see, it's open.
No. Closing and digging is two different things.
But it's the process.
Ngitsheli, I told you.
In the process, there is nothing like sitting. You were supposed to be working. What's happening?
Gilbert, talk.
No, we were elected to do the overtime, and we are at the overtime side
By
where
sitting.
we're fixing the pipe.
By sitting.
No, you better call the supervisor.
And the supervisor will come up for them. Watch my words. Let them call. Let him come in, and then you will see.
No, let me call the society. Can you come and meet with our leader here? Okay, by the side. Thank you.
Okay. Can you give Fikile the food?
Hold on. No, she's still busy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, stop. I'm coming. Where is Mr.
Mr. Lu,
Hey,
we are here. I received a complaint.
okay.
There's a complaint to say your people are not working, and I came here practically. I found them sitting. What's going on? They were not doing their work.
Remember that part that we were trying to replace
Sorry.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah.
So it hasn't arrived.
No, it hasn't arrived.
Okay, I think Chief, there is a problem about the part which is not still coming. So I think the part is still coming.
And yet, Mlungu, they are working overtime. They've been allocated overtime. They didn't see only now there was no part. It is always the case.
Chief, can I talk, because first and foremost, you ought to have come to me, says jumped.
Exactly,
I don't appreciate it.
Exactly.
Tell him, tell
I
him.
don't appreciate
Tell
it. I'm
him.
your immediate boss, you go
Yes.
to Mr. Nkuna, I don't appreciate
Mr.
it.
Nguna, I'm sorry, with all due respect, sir. I am sorry. Mr. Nguna, can I have an opportunity to talk here?
No.
That is why I came to you, Mr.
No.
Nguna. Because the two of them have a relationship.
No,
What relationship?
don't.
The complaint is about you treating her.
No, I've
Then-
never ill-treated her.
It's fine, it's okay. We shall meet in the office on Monday. We'll deal with that meal.
Chief, let me say something. This allegation of me having an affair is very serious. She needs to bring proof.
No, that's defamation of
Like,
I'll sue you.
character.
Yeah.
That's defamation of
I'll
character.
sue you.
No, it's
Hey,
fine.
we've been watching you. Why are you
Well,
always like into such trouble?
Can I tell you, Mr.
This
Nguna?
one is a
Mr.
troublemaker.
Nguna, they
This one is a
actually,
troublemaker.
Ufiki, they called him dial direct. That's why I came to you.
So you've been
What
calling
is
him
that?
names.
What's
Dial
that?
direct, you are contained. It's your person.
Can you listen to me? We'll be meeting on Monday.
Okay,
We'll
Chief.
deal with the issue.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Nguna. And I hope
Can you
nothing
call
will
that
happen to
man
me.
with the pie?
Am I protected?
Yeah, no, I'll
Thank you.
call him. I'll call him.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
We order the party.
Can you please, let's work.
Now, umuntu loya.
I'm
I'll see that.
I don't know. Zodilana, I don't know. Sharp, sharp.
All right. There you go.
Can someone, maybe Alex, in case you could please confuse coming in here, that what you actually expect us to portray. It's very much prevalent and we can see, right? But for the audience, to say that because of these acts, anyone can be protected and nothing wrong can be done, right? So that should be said by you or someone that is anyone.
This municipality is corrupt.
Yeah. Thank you very. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Given the fact that first and foremost there's a grievance lodged against the supervisor, so the manager is compelled to investigate, and once the investigation is complete, whoever is found to have transgressed, disciplinary action needs to be taken. So that is the step which the manager will have to take, but he needs to bring to the conclusion of this matter to the satisfaction of all parties concerned. There mustn't be any sides taken, but the complainant in particular has to be satisfied, because if she's not satisfied, she can escalate the matter above the manager. Unfortunately, she cannot come to the immediate supervisor because the immediate supervisor is directly implicated. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. The cast that is standing in front of us, they are going to dramatize Injury on Duty. Good afternoon. This is Masingita Masi, Singita Matebola. I'm representing the cast of Modupi Energy Plant, and they will be dramatizing Injury on Duty, in which we are going to look at the Compensation Act of Injuries and Diseases Act, and then we're also going to look at the Labor Relations Act. And the cast here, as introduced by myself, we have Mashadi, who is going to be the manager, and then we have Sabata, who is going to be the union member, and then we have Lizzie, who is going to be the occupational health officer, and then we have Ndubuo, who's going to be the witness. And then we have the injured, Cindy. She is going to be the one that is going to be injured in the dramatization. Thank you. Then our drama is going to start by briefing session by the occupational health officer.
Lizzie, volume.
You want to use this one?
Construction there.
It's on you.
Okay, there is one.
Nka se mothuse ke tshaba
Ke tshwere jwang? Okay. Even my hair will fall now.
ke tla mothusa ke tshaba sexual abuse charges mo merekong. Ha Zoleka.
Okay, I'll give you a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Morning, Basebenzi.
Da.
Remember, Midupi construction, we must comply with safety regulations. We are a construction company, so you can't go to site without your safety compliance. Uniform, helmet, shoes, safety shoes, overalls. Niyayizwa leyo basebenzi?
Yebo.
So sicela siye emsebenzini.
Help! 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 Sindiswa. Cindy. Help! Uyile. Usifole. And then it fell over her head.
Okay, you can call the officer.
Behind.
Sit officer, come.
What happened? But remember, I was briefing you. Where are the safety shoes? Where's the helmet?
I don't have, man. Let's get out. Where's the office, man?
Come.
Doctor.
Let me call the doctor. Doctor, we have an emergency at Midupi construction.
I'm on my way now. I'm coming.
Okay. Okay, the doctor is coming to come and assess you, ma'am.
Where is the patient?
There she is.
The patient?
There she is.
Oh, hello. Can you see me? How many fingers am I waving? 3 fingers. Yeah, she must be really injured. Do you feel any pain? Anyway?
Yes, doctor.
How's the pain here?
No, the pain is very
The pain is, I hope it's not in the brain, huh? No. I see there's a gap here. You are seriously injured. What happened? Witness, what happened? What happened to her?
We were working to the area where maintenance is taking place, then an equipment fell over her head. She collapsed and fell down.
Collapsed and fell down?
Yes.
Yeah, she's seriously injured. But then, I'm just going to make sure that I attend to her, but I think she will need to go to the hospital so that they can, take a serious look at her. Are you able to feel anything now?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to administer some medication, and then I'm going to also give her an injection. This injection is going to help you. Huh? It's going to help you. You will be able. You won't feel no pain. You won't feel no pain. I'm going to give you this injection. I believe it's not going to be very painful.
Bekezela Sindiswa. So right.
Yes. Okay.
Please.
Oh yes. You will feel better now. You'll feel better now. And then I'm going to also bandage you so that we can stop, the blood in the meantime. I'm going to give you this bandage so that at least we're able to stop the blood in the meantime. I believe, no, you will feel better. You will feel better. Now, I don't think you'll be able to go back to work soon, but then I'm going to give you 7 days. Is it okay?
14 days.
You want 14 days? Okay. 14 days, yeah, but I believe you, yes, you deserve 14 days. Okay, I'm going to give you 14 days, and then also, I believe that your workplace has a compensation policy, and then they will be able to compensate you for the injuries on duty. Okay, so these are the forms that you're going to use. And then this is also prescription. You will need to get some medication for the pain and also for the gap on your head. Come back next week. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
Cindy, let's go. Kune compensation office ngaphayana asambe. Kala phansi.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, how are you feeling now?
Still busy?
Oh, so you know that we have the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Act.
Yes, Ms. Mazabuko?
Okay. The aim of the act is to offer compensation for disability and any injuries or disease that can occur in the workplace. So in your situation, you got injured at work, but there are compliance issues. You know that we're having briefing session every day.
Correct.
And as a safety rep, I did the briefing session. I told you to wear your safety clothes.
But remember, me and we went out because we were called by our senior manager. So we were not there with the whole briefing.
Okay. So I need to fill in the form to take it to the compensation office. So I need to ask some few questions. Were you wearing your safety shoes?
No.
Were you wearing your safety helmet?
No.
Okay. According to the Compensation Act, if there was no compliance to safety issues, there won't be any compensation. But we'll see what happens. I'll take the recommendations to the manager. Okay, the manager should let you know of your report.
Okay.
Okay. Come in. Mrs. Matendwa. Hello. We had a situation early today where an employee was injured. And according to my job specification, I did what I was requested to do. I did my safety briefing sessions in the morning. And I told them that they need to do compliance in terms of safety because we are a construction company and safety is very critical to our organization. So I told them whenever they go to site, they must wear their safety boots, they must wear their safety helmets, and they must wear their overalls. But the report, according to the employees, they were not there during the briefing session. So the employee got injured. So she was assessed by the doctor, and this is the recommendation report.
Okay, let me have a look at it. Was the what victim? Was the what employee? Does she have any disability? Did the injury lead to any disability?
Well, there isn't any disability per se, but there is an injury. And I think the doctor, you can see the recommendations there, that the doctor booked her off for 2 weeks. So I think she has a limping leg and something that has to do with her brain. I think maybe it will cause some meningitis. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, I think the recommendation and what you have said goes along with what Kodia says. So no compensation.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, I took the report to the manager, and according to the assessment, we are not going to compensate you because it was negligence.
No, this is unfair. This is unfair. I'm going to lodge a grievance against you.
Unfortunately, that's the
No, I'm going to lodge a grievance. Please give me a grievance form. I'm going to
You
lodge.
can go access it to your labor relations office.
I send this one.
I have lodged a grievance for this unfair treatment. I've got injured at work.
Utheni lo yasisiwe compensation
No compensation.
office with an afro hair. I know she's always by the employer side.
Rules are rules. Rules are rules. Unfortunately, we can't assist you.
No, I've lodged a grievance.
Okay.
Yes.
Please,
We
let's
escalated to the HOD.
also talk to your organized labor, your union.
Yes.
Will have a say on this issue.
Yes.
Bakhona
correct.
laba mama abathola umsebenzi bangabi nendaba nabantu ne-safety impilo zabo.
I'm
did
going to
my
go
part.
to my union.
Please do.
Coco.
Awucoming up abasebenzi. Nithini basebenzi?
Hi.
Yini inkinga manje?
Comrade.
Uthini
Comrade.
Khoma?
Hi.
Sharp.
It's all
Yini
right.
inkinga manje Khoma?
I've got injured at work, comrade, Babu Sabat.
Yeah.
And bathi abangibhadali. There's no compensation for my injuries.
Bathini inkinga manje?
But I did not wear the safety helmet and then the safety shoes.
Okay. No, but lifuna le grievance.
Nah.
Ngiyabonga. Basebenzi. Angithi
Leadership,
when we work, it is the responsibility of the department
Commander,
to ensure ukuthi there are safety measures in place.
comrade.
Ukuthi whether you are there's an agent of the agent ni nama sethu kumele be protected. Angithi.
And there were no signs. There were no signs in the department
Angawara.
that kune maintenance.
Angawara.
outside.
This time khona babambili. We'll deal with them. We'll take up the matter. If manager lona akafumulalela, we'll deal with him a court basebenzi. But in terms of the act, the Labor Relations Act, the COIDA Act, and the PCEA Act, all workers must be protected before they go on site.
Leadership, even the turnaround time of the doctor to arrive at Midubi, the incident site, was unacceptable. It took very long, such that Cindy wasn't paid for a long time.
No, that's how killers behave. They don't take care of our lives. They're only after profit Baba Savings. We'll deal with it, Baba Savings. Don't worry. We'll deal with it. We'll lodge a formal complaint on her behalf.
And the compensation manager, what do we do with that?
We'll report her.
Okay.
We'll report her and we'll request a thorough investigation into why she refused this.
This is not for the first time, leadership.
Sure.
This is the third case in a row where employees have not been given compensation on an injury on duty.
No, these people, they are blood suckers. We'll deal with it, my leadership. We'll deal with it.
Cindy.
Trust me.
There's
Ma'am,
hope.
Cindy,
There's hope,
comrade,
yeah.
trust me, we'll deal
Ah,
with it.
thanks, comrade.
Yes, we'll deal with it. Sure, Basebenzi. Now, come and close.
We must
Come and close it.
come and close it. Close it.
Ovuvala.
Narrator ke futhi.
Narrator closing.
Closing.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. I believe, because I strongly believe that they have actually given us a clear understanding as to what to be done when someone is injured at work. Now, what we need to understand is that every time, every company, every department, they need to ensure that their occupational health and safety is clearly displayed in all areas so that the employees are aware of all the safety measures that need to be taken. They need to know the evacuation plans. They need to know everything else. And this is the responsibility of the employer and the employees to ensure that all the safety measures are displayed. They can be seen by everybody, including visitors that visit our departments or companies. Now, we also need to ensure that all the labor acts they are actually adhered to. People are not discriminated against when they have been injured at work. We need to consider them. We need to ensure that the processes are followed and the procedures are adhered to. And all employees are aware of the procedures which needs to be followed. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, but what a great effort, right? A huge round of applause for the whole class. Yeah, the hidden actors were coming out of each one's personality, right? All right. So we have covered chapter 2, 4, 5, 6, and 1. But chapter 3 is left. I won't say, right, that it's not important, but you can go through the models, right? And in case you feel that something has to be discussed with me, I'm going to share my number, and you can always give a call, right? Should you are stuck at chapter 3, because now we can't even use projector, but and that is why I took this chapter for the last conversation. But even if we are not covering it, it's fine, right? It's HR models, and it's not as hectic. You can go through, and it's like, I can see you guys are already aware, right? So already quite read, properly read, and you, because of your experience, right, you're not going to find it problematic. However, if you are stuck anywhere, right, you can give me a call at 011 669 5146. 011 669 5146. And my email ID is, yeah, 51, yeah. My email ID is abhinandag@regenesis.co.za. abhinandag@regenesis.co.za. If I'm not facilitating, I respond within 24 hours. And if I am, then please expect my response in 48 hours. All right? Let's quickly cover the assignment expectations, right? Because it's quite different than usual assignments. So let's have a quick look at it, right? Okay. Okay. Is the Wi-Fi not working, Spivi? Are you connected? Yeah. So if it's 8 pages means 8 pages, all right? Yes. You're connected. Wi-Fi. Okay, yeah. Right. One moment. Here you are. Okay. So question 1. In an 8-page analysis, using your organization as a point of reference, examine how strategic human resource management and selected HR strategies can be used in the following cases to achieve competitive advantage and improve performance. So the first case is the mission statement or a set of prioritized goals for the function and the main sub-functions of the organization, e.g. training, compensation, etc. All right. So first of all, in such questions, after marking 300,000 scripts, more than 300,000 scripts so far, what we find is students write that in my organization, nothing is happening. I don't know what about compensation management. I don't know performance management. Right? There is no ray of hope and scope. There is no hierarchy. Right? There is absolute mess. Right? If they are disappointed. Right? So, even if there is absolute mess, even if there is nothing that is happening, right? First of all, the marker does not know who you are, okay? We don't know, right? Sometimes I am not going to be the marker. This time it could be I don't know, right? So he does not know who is Gab, who is Gilbert, who is Singani, right? So that is why you are the first attempt of this answer would be, you would give a brief background of the organization that you are working for, and your capacity as an employee, especially as a manager, so that we can get a perspective of why you are saying so, right? So you will say that I am working in this and this organization, these many employees, these many in this unit, these many subordinates I have, right? And I am the manager of da da da, and my responsibility is, right? So you will briefly, first of all, inform what you are doing, just to paint a picture, right? Before we start, before you start answering. But in case you see here, the question is the mission statement or a set of prioritized goals for the function and the main sub-functions. Now, because this is an assignment of human resource management, we are not interested in other aspects. We are not interested in purchasing, operations and supply chain management. We are not interested in finance. Why? Because the module is of HR. And that is why they have given you the examples of training and compensation. So, are you fine? So in your department, right, whatever are the HR related functions, you are only required to mention that. This is not public strategic management module. So you don't have to be strategic in terms of other departments, right? So please mention HR departments only, HR functions only, okay? So like he started, right? What is the strategic goal of any department, right? What is the strategic HR goal? To get the people perform, right? So that they keep on performing for the organization. So that it's continuous, so that it's towards the development, so that it's towards the improved performances. That should be your objective in here. Keeping that thing in mind, you must answer the question, right? If you feel there is no improved performance going on, please, at this level, what we are looking for, that you are constructive in your approach, right? What is your suggestion that the department can improve, right? What would be the course of actions which can be implemented so that the department gets improved, if you feel that there is nothing going on, all right? Then, how are you going, because it's strategic level, right? Because it's level 9, how are you going to measure that improved performance? You can't be just saying, right, that this should be done, that should be done. Then how you are going to measure, right? So that aspect should also be involved, right? So in terms of, so for public sector, citizen are customers, right? So they should be satisfied, right? The service should be given in a way that there are developments in terms of financial outcomes. Is your department still under debt, right? What about funding, right? So what are you doing in terms of financial outcome, right? Do you have any information about the financial outcome of your company, right? That you're going to see, right? Then you are going to measure in terms of, I can't answer you everything, but when we say that that you are discussing missions and goals and you want to compare it with whatever you are suggesting, you are actually looking for the effectiveness and efficiency of your department, right? So you will measure in terms of financial outcome, in terms of efficiency and effectiveness of the department, all right? Rest you must think. I can't spoon feed. Okay? Then second point is first point I've given you. Second is organization structure, right? So you would need to mention what is the organization structure that you have. That means the sort of organogram, right? So, so whether it's tall structure, whether it's flat structure, in public sector it's tall always. So you will say there is bureaucracy, there is this, there is blah, right? You will mention everything in detail. Now, this question is not explain the hierarchy, right? This question is, what do you think, what can be done in a way so that the existing structure, right, people in the existing structure can be utilized in the perfect way so that the outcome is beneficial, all right? Then program portfolio for 2018 and 2019 to outline priorities and policies. So you definitely must be having a program portfolio. Please don't give us the entire story of 100,000 pages. We are just interested in the key terms of HR, right? Because it's an HR module. So policies and procedures related to human resource management of your department, right? Just mention that, okay? And what will be your approach in order to, in case you want to streamline processes, in case you want HR policies and processes to be smarter, all right? Then a proposed or formal budget to address the issue of resource allocation, which is always an issue, right? So what will be your proposal? Right, it should be very, very concrete, right? Please, yesterday, like I have said, that your approach should be very logical, very sequential, very chronological, right? So all these 4 steps should not be scattered, right? Like you said, so that is why in case you see, you have started with mission, and your 4th answer should relate and align with the mission that you are going to mention. So your 4th answer should not be deviating from what you have answered in the first point. All right, so each point should be in relation to each other. All right, this is 50 marks, my dear. So if you're going to lose it, you're going to lose it. If you're going to have it, you're going to have it, right? So and the marking will be strict in this question because the approach in these 2 days was to give you the feeling of answering this question properly. All right? Okay. Is that clear? I can see pale faces. Okay. Question 2. Identify a prominent leader in your organization or field. Reflect on the leadership theory that best suits their leadership approach and style. And style, okay? So you're not going to say transformational theory and style. Okay? And if you're going to say this, I'm going to come to your office and kill you for that. All right? Please give your addresses. All right. Okay, so you will describe their background, right? And it can, and see, and that is what sometimes I say, people get really emotional to these questions. You have to be very, very pragmatic, practical, and smart, right? Even if you're not honest, it doesn't matter. It must sound good academically. You must be academically strong in writing these answers, right? So even if he or she is XYZ, don't get fixated on XYZ, but fixated on the question, right? Not on the person, all right? So describing their background, you can describe anything that you want. That will give you high marks, right? I'm not going to go there and check. I'm not going to be doing survey of the answers that you are going to give, right? Please be constructive, please be smart, right? Then identify at least one leadership approach, right? Approach, okay? Critically, and please, if this word is critically, I demand critically at this stage. Critically review 2 leadership theories that reflect their leadership style. Okay? For example, you say transactional theory, right? So, if you are saying transactional theory, which leadership style you think relates to leadership theory, right? So, you will critical. Critical means, first of all, you will analyze, right, that transactional is actually this, and for example, laissez-faire is actually this, right? First of all, analyze. But here your answer does not stop. I repeat again on recording, here your answer does not stop. You have to critically analyze. That means, what are the loopholes according to you is existent in that particular leadership theory, right? For example, I said transactional leaders are like give and take, right? But every time it's not give and take. Every time transactional leadership does not work. Every time if you are not having reward power with you, that means you are not going to practice transactional leadership. So you have to turn into your own devil's advocate in order to reanalyze what you have said, all right? So in another way, in a different perspective, analyze that theory. Right? Where transactional leadership is not going to be applicable, where transformational theory is not going to be applicable, all right? That perspective I want. So you would do analysis, and then you would reanalyze that, right, in terms of a different perspective. Is that clear? Fourth, conclude by identifying what you recommend they would do to improve the leaders. What else do you think would be perfect, right? Do you think, and that is what you are going towards creative thinking. There are 56 theories that have been introduced. What else can you think, right, in a better way that all these theories don't have? That these theories should have something. So like in here, it's written, nothing is mentioned about servant leadership. It's serving unconditionally, right? So like Mother Teresa, not thinking about the benefit like transactional leader, right? So they are just working for the betterment. So can we have that kind of leaders? Just a thought process. So what kind of leaders are you looking for that are not existent? All right? You have to read a lot, please. There are, I don't know, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 articles on leadership, fancy articles. Just quote them and do something good, all right? All right, okay. Question 3, Quinn, this is a scenario, and that is what we have done in here. Quinn 1980 and Lindblom 1958. No problem. Doc. Quinn 1980 and Lindblom 1958 maintained that incremental development in organizations is not inevitable, but also logical. Little bit of developments, right? HR professionals know that it's not possible to know about all the influences that could affect the future of the organization, and that strategies must be implemented in stages. This is known as the process of incremental development. Based on your understanding of the above, provide a case study example of how new ideas and policies were implemented in your organization and the impact of organization culture in the adoption or rejection of such change, right? Now do you understand why I gave you this role play? So that you could come up with a situation, right? And here also, now you have to create a case study on your own, right? Wherein you feel that new ideas, you can create a case study. It could be hypothetical. It could be something that has already happened, right? Depending on, as I said, I'm not going to go and check, right? So a case study is generally what has actually happened, right? However, you can say that, yeah, this has happened, whether it has happened or not, God knows. But you have to be very right in your approach, right? So, like you have created a case here, right? Exactly the same approach is needed in your answer, right? That what was done to bring incremental changes, right? So now I could see that you are strong enough, you can do it like this, right? Yeah, but when I am marking, I don't want any repetition in any script, okay? So it has to be a new case from everybody, okay? It's of 25 marks. Same organization, but not the same situation.
No, we are not in the same office.
So you have different situations, right?
No, totally different.
Totally, yeah. See.
Are we using the same entrance?
something for same. Yeah, but yeah, there should be something different and unique in each case study. Okay, so in order to satisfactorily address this question, you will have to explore one way, any one way, right, in which strategic changes were incrementally implemented in your organization. I would look at least for one way, right? You are also free to provide your perspective on those changes and whether those changes were followed according to the organization policies or not. Should I tell you again? You need to explore.
Now you are talking to those doctors.
Now when I'm standing there, are they not feeling? Yeah. See? You must fight with her, right? Okay, diversity, right. Okay. Okay, I'm repeating.
Please, comrade.
You need to explore one way in which strategic changes were incrementally implemented, right? It's not drastic implementation, incremental implementation, all right? And you are also free to provide on your own perspective on the changes that were made, right? And do you think that they were followed religiously, those changes, right? How you would have reacted to those changes in response to the organizational change. So it should be in 4 steps, right? First, you will tell us the scenario. Second, you'll explore one way of strategic change. Third, whether those changes were followed or not. Fourth, how you as a person, right, perceive that change or whether have you followed. All right, because you are the part of that department. Are you confused? Your face is very talkative. Even if you're not talking, your face talks. All right. So, formal way of?
You can just say those 4 points again.
Okay. 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 What have you heard? It's been recorded actually. I can't keep on. Yeah.
Own perspective.
Your own perspective. First is you will give the case, right? Second, your own perspective, right? Third, whether that was followed by others or not.